Welcome back to Bold of You to Say. We're back with another episode. In this one, we gave a review of the Snyder Cut, and please never ask us about it again because we are entirely burnt out when it comes to the Snyder Cut.
I will say this. The Snyder Cut is a movie that, despite everything, it exists.
You can't take that away. You can't take that away from it.
I wish I could.
But before we got into that, there were a couple of news stories that we covered. First, why are we trying to fuck the moon? Stay tuned to find out. And then NFTs, and just how awful they are. I feel like we should
specify, it's not us, the two of us, that are trying to fuck the moon. It's just
not us.
Scientists are trying to fuck the moon.
Yeah, we should clarify.
No, we're not like... It's not like Despicable Me. We're gonna shrink the moon down so we can fuck it. Although that does give me an idea.
But anyway, then we did a story about NFTs and a specific one that we just hate and melts our brains. And then we gave our initial reactions to to Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I hope you guys enjoy this episode as much as I bled during the filming of it.
Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Follow us on Twitter, buy our merch, and let's just jump right into it.
What does that say?
You can read it. Why are we trying to fuck the moon?
You're recording, right?
Yeah.
That's the intro to News Minute.
Yep.
I'm not playing the fucking horn. All right. So, Alex, why are people trying to fuck the moon?
Okay, so this is from AV Club, and like always, this will be linked in the description. Scientists plan to shoot massive load of sperm samples onto the moon.
Oh, okay. Actually, I've heard of this. I made a Doom meme of it. You can't just shoot your nut onto the surface of the moon.
So I guess this is, I think it's supposed to be like a Noah's Ark kind of thing. Like we're trying to like preserve like the species or something. I don't know.
So we're going to nut on the moon.
Yeah, we're gonna nut on the moon.
That is the most gorilla caveman thinking I've ever heard of.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's probably been a goal of humanity, honestly, for as long as we've been a species, really, because it's like, you look up at the sky, like how did most religions start? People looked up at the sky, they were like, big ball of light, and then they were like making up stories like, oh, that's like a guy in a chariot riding it across the sky. That's why the sun goes up in the morning and down at night. And then there were some guys, the Elon Musks of their day, that were like, I'm going to fuck that someday.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck that ball of light in the sky. And now we finally have the means to accomplish that goal.
I need to get some images saved. I have a project I'm gonna make. I want you to turn this into into an image for this. I'm not gonna say what it is yet. You're gonna have to. You and the viewers are gonna find out together.
Okay, I'll probably make it the thumbnail.
Do it. I just have to get it all saved in. I gotta get a good Photoshop thing running too. So they're trying to fuck the moon. Is this the future the liberals want?
This is a future that I conceivably someone wants. I don't know. I guess. Okay, so this is from the article. The plan was worked up at this year's Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers Aerospace Conference, long known as the most erotic of engineering conferences. In a video from the event, SFW, despite its many lurid references to lunar pits and lava tubes, the University of Arizona team proposed the creation of, quote, a modern ark, unquote, beneath the moon's surface that would contain a biological treasure trove of animal fluids. Okay, so this is like, it's not just people fucking the moon. I guess the entire planet's ecosystem, at least all the ones that we can jerk off, are fucking the moon.
This is amazing though, Alex, because you know what this means? It means as an entire like planet, we are going to collectively fuck the moon.
You know what?
I've never felt more more in tune with a planet before than when we're going to go fuck the moon.
You know, when I think of the most powerful or empowering accomplishments of our species,
It's going to always be the time we gave the man in the moon a facial.
I think of things like inventing the airplane, you know, the telephone, vaccines, just in general, Wonder Woman. And now we can add to the list that time that we all collectively fucked the moon.
The entire planet of Earth. We
You know what?
fucked the moon.
You know, the question on my mind is, are we going to stick around or are we going to be a deadbeat dad collectively as a species?
I think
because, you know, NASA is severely underfunded. So it's not like we can even pay child support.
Alex, I think the plan is we're not going to stick around. That's why we're giving the moon a facial. Like I feel like scientists are just like, you know, Earth's fucked. Contingency plan. Not on the moon. Maybe we'll figure it out.
The Earth's fucked. So that's all that we know how to do. So let's fuck the moon too.
I guess. You just gave the moon parasites.
But no, really, like, did we not learn our lesson from every sci-fi movie ever?
These kids gonna grow up weird. Yeah,
like, do you want Inhumans to happen? Because that's how you make Marvel's Inhumans happen.
As long as we don't let the Queen of Elizabeth on the moon, we should be good.
Yeah. But no, like we joke about it and stuff. Like, oh, monkey brain, fuck moon. But like from a scientific perspective, we fuck the moon. And then what?
Well, hopefully if there's intelligent life out there, they'll just do what Halo did. They'll reseed the planet, or they'll just drink it. I'm really hoping some alien's gonna find, like, Earth that's like a fucking blown up wasteland. They're gonna find the moon, they're gonna find this cache of, like, gene seed. And they're gonna be like, oh, what's this? They're gonna crack open a cold one, guzz it down, be like, ah! Oh, it's horrible! And, you know, dodos are extinct again.
No, but, like, okay, so let's just say, like, the contingency works out and, like, the world is ending and the last of our species goes to the moon colony and they're like, all right, we gotta restart humanity. Let's break open the turkey baster. Imagine, like, being one of those people, or imagine being a post-apocalyptic moon baby. Who would want to be in that situation? I say at that point, we just say fuck it and cut our losses.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, to the post-apocalyptic moon baby, that's life. Like, there was nothing before that. It's just like, basically the idea is humanity's gonna make it through this shit until the end of it all. That's the end goal. We need to become crab, Alex.
I guess. Yeah, I get. Okay, so if these events transpire before we become crab, then I understand. Actually, full 180, I reverse my decision. I will be a post-apocalyptic moon baby if that helps us on our journey to become crab.
Yeah, see? And even if it doesn't, even if after we become crab this happens, like, clearly something went wrong with society to where the peak performance animal didn't survive. So maybe a do-over is in need. We learn from the mistakes of our past on the moon, which we fucked.
I hope that, like, SpaceX doesn't, like, get its hands on this. Because, like,
the moon or the
just this project,
amount of jizz.
This project. Like, I hope that SpaceX isn't in charge of, like, revitalizing humanity. Because it's like, imagine you're a moon baby and you have cat ears and a tail, and someone has to explain to you, okay, so there's this guy named Elon Musk, right?
He was a rich guy, and he had a company with a lot of crazy ideas, and one of those ideas was you.
Do you know what the term eccentric trillionaire means?
I was just born yesterday, no.
So there's this guy named Lex Luthor, and we thought he was fictional.
Elon Musk shaves his head, fights Superman.
Elon Musk would create Superman just to fight him.
You know what? Actually, it's weird because like Jeff Bezos looks like the most like Lex Luthor.
You know what?
And he does
Elon
own
Musk.
the most.
Elon Musk would turn himself into Superman, and then he would be like, "Create cat girls, or I will laser I will laser Australia into space." And then everyone's gonna be like, "Okay," and he's like, "Oh, I'll laser a better place into space." And then we're like, "Okay, all right, fine." Then Jeff Bezos suits up in his Amazon branded mech suit, and it's like Pacific Rim but cool.
No, what this is exactly what it's going to be like. Jeff Bezos is going to be Lex Luthor, and Elon Musk is like the guy that wants to turn everyone into dinosaurs from that one Spider-Man comic. I forget who it was.
Oh god. No, he's like Dr. Animo from Ben 10.
Yeah. Yes. I made an army of cat girls. Bezos shows up. I will kill them all. He's got the fucking robo arms too. He's like a mixture of Doc Ock and Lex Luthor. You know what?
And he's doing the laugh the whole time. Like,
what is that? That's my evil laugh.
And Elon Musk would be live tweeting the whole thing.
The entire time there's just like a cyborg in the distance watching. Cyborg.
He would grow an extra 2 arms just to like, and like a separate head just to be live tweeting the whole thing while he's fighting Jeff Bezos.
Who made fucking goddamn Mark Zuckerberg? Okay, I had a fucking hot flash for a second. No, Mark Zuckerberg though, he's gonna be like Brainiac, you know, like the supercomputer. He's gonna be like Ultron.
You know, it's funny because Mark Zuckerberg and Lex Luthor were both played by Jesse Eisenberg, so you know they have at least that in common.
Yeah,
I think that's just life imitating art.
Now, I know we're gonna get more into this, but I just want to say Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor is probably the dumbest fucking casting choice ever.
Oh yeah,
Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I had that in my notes too for the movie.
I'm gonna just like list off a bunch of people that would make better Lex Luthors. Anyone else?
Good point. Yeah,
because like, what's the biggest things about Lex Luthor? He's no nonsense, bald, insane, and big.
Kind of fuckable.
Yeah, a little bit. He's got that chin.
He's like he's like suave.
Well, that's like the thing though. Like
he stole Superman's girl in Red Sun.
Yeah,
I mean, kind of. He was married to Lois Lane, but like he stole Superman's girl.
I tell you what, I think Red Sun Lex Luthor was probably like the only version of Lex Luthor that wasn't the most biggest dick. He was a dick, but you know,
he was a lot more sympathetic. I think.
He wasn't like you understood why he did the things he did, whereas in the other ones, like, I made this mech suit that cost my entire company so I could kill Superman. Why? Because I hate him. Why do I hate him? Because I hate him.
Yeah, I wanna go into it right now, but we gotta go through our other stuff first, and then we'll get into all the Snyder Cut stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's do the next story. I don't really have any notes written about this, but NFTs, so like I know what they are, you know what they are. Well, we know what they are like as much as any normal person could, I guess.
I mean, I saw someone put down that it's basically like a money laundering scheme that's legal.
Probably. I mean, all art trading is to some degree or another.
Yeah.
But no, so NFTs, for anyone in the audience that doesn't know, it stands for what was it? Non-fungible token.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we'll go with that. I'm not even gonna Google it. So it's basically like So people use it to sell art, right? But not like how you sell art normally, where you get like a copy of an image if you're selling digital art. Or you pay money and you get a copy of it, or you get like a printout or something. You're paying money for, I guess, like the rights to it. Like you pay for the original version of it. I mean, I don't know how it works. Like, I assume you can just like screenshot it, and then it's like you tank the value of it, because it's like what's the incentive to buy the NFT? But anyway, people are selling like their tweets as NFTs. Like Jack Dorsey, I think, sold like his first tweet as an NFT.
Why?
For money.
Who the fuck is
it's
Jack
cool.
Dorsey?
He founded Twitter.
Okay. What contributions has he made to society?
He founded Twitter.
Okay, read my lips. What contributions has he made to society?
Good point.
But
so
it's like giving the devil a medal.
So now that we have the loosest understanding of what an NFT is, I saw this on my news feed. This is from CNN, CNN Style. World's first digital NFT house sells for $500,000.
I hope those people go bankrupt. I hope everyone involved in that situation learns the most harshest of lessons.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now. There's a video of it. The article will be linked down below. There's a picture of it, a still image of it on the article. There's a couple stills of it, and then there's a video of it. And like, my Oculus home environment looks better and more detailed than this $500,000 digital house.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, what the fuck do you do with this?
I don't know. I mean, I could see using it for like a game or something, or for VR, or like for VR chat or something. Which, by the way, VR chat environments in this free game that anyone can get, most of them that I've been in look better than this $500,000 house.
You can buy commission. You could commission some fucking furry to build you a VR house. It would probably be better everything than this $500,000 garbage.
Yeah. It looks like every portrayal of virtual reality pre-2014. Oh my God.
Yes! Holy shit, yes!
Everything that's like pre-Oculus Quest.
Fucking I want to get clips from VR troopers. I want you to use them. Cuz like, you're absolutely fucking right.
Yeah, if I clip this, I'll show that on screen, but yeah, like every like in Community. Okay, Community season 6, they did an episode where the dean at Greendale like gets into VR, but it's like it was aired in like 2014, 2015. So like the Oculus Rift like just came out. So VR was still like very, very niche, even more than it was now. Or even more than it is now. Yeah. And so it straight up looked like Tron. Like classic Tron.
The good shit. Inject that right into me.
Because like no one knew what virtual reality was. So it's like the headset is like 3 feet long, and he's in like those things that you like. Those things, yeah, it's like the Matrix, but like low budget. And he's like in a rig, like you put like a toddler in, and they like bounce and shit, kind of like that, but like for a grown man. Which those are starting to actually become a thing, and I kind of want one. But they look cool now. But yeah, like that's what this house looks like.
Yeah,
and I see it. It's so funny. It's Homer Simpson.
It's the 3D Homer Simpson when he's stuck in the green space. I forget which episode it was. It's one of the Treehouse of Horrors. but it's all I can think of when I see that fucking NFT house.
Yeah.
It's Homer Simpson trapped in virtual reality.
Yeah. Now, I will, like I said, I will link this article in the description. And anyone that's listening to this, just tell me with a straight face you would pay any amount of money for this virtual house.
Gonna be that one guy who's really into NFTs. He's like, yeah, no, I would pay thousands of dollars for this.
Yeah, no, NFTs are like it's a similar thing to Bitcoin, and like at least I understand Bitcoin. Like I understand how it works, sort of. Like I understand it's basically like a dollar. Like a Bitcoin is like a dollar. I mean, even a dollar is theoretical. We tell each other that they exist, and we tell each other that they have value. We tell each other that a dollar equals 100 cents, and we tell each other a loaf of bread costs 70 cents, and we tell each other basically that the dollar has any meaning at all. So it's the same thing with Bitcoin. We just pretend it has value, therefore it does.
Yeah, it's like every currency thing. Except
every currency is theoretical. It's just represented by something.
Yeah.
NFTs,
I mean, some of it does
on
have
the other
gold
hand,
value to it, but
well, what is gold?
How
does it have value? Like. How does it have value?
It is a rare metal that we like the look of. That is because of the arbitrary caveman brain thinking shiny thing precious.
Yeah, so we tell each other gold is worth something.
Yeah.
So if you have a dollar worth of gold, we tell each other that gold is worth $1. But but NFTs, like it's not a currency. So we like are we seriously going to tell each other that a virtual house is worth $500,000? Like,
yeah.
I mean, if it's your thing, like, let's just say we were all, hypothetically, let's just say hypothetically that we were all millionaires, and there was no poverty in the world, and we just like didn't know what else to do with our money other than put it in a pile and light it on fire. And people started getting into like trading $1 million virtual environments. Like, okay, fine, I guess, if you're really that bored. But I don't know. It's melting my brain. And my point that I wanted to make is that NFTs, just as a concept, like my understanding is that it will ruin, or I guess the spirit of it ruins what makes the internet great.
Yeah.
Because like what are the, like, what do we love about the internet? Porn. That it's like, well, porn, and the fact that it's like a free environment.
Thing.
Yeah. And you can share information and art, and you can communicate, and it's all it's free to use. I mean, you have to pay for access to it, and you have to pay for like subscriptions if you want, like Netflix and stuff, but the barrier of entry is fairly low.
Yeah.
But NFTs are trying to turn, like, specifically talking about the art trade, like trading art, selling art, whatever. Like NFTs seem to be like we're regressing back to like the game Bidiots.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like we're regressing to real life Bidiots.
Art life imitates art.
Like the great thing about buying, selling, trading art online is that
keep it when you buy it.
Yeah, the art spreads and people get to enjoy it. But it seems like NFTs are trying to reverse that and make it into like, oh, you got to pay, top dollar to experience, this
image,
this illustration, this 3D model, whatever. When the great thing that we love about the internet is that you can just post something, and the idea is that you get to experience it and you get to contribute to it.
I'm gonna NFT my dick pics.
I hope that people start doing that just to like tank the like reputation of NFTs.
You know what, Alex? It takes a village. Many hands make light work. Quick, get the camera, Mom. We're gonna crush the competition. But yeah, in short, NFT bad.
Yeah, fuck NFTs.
You know what? Why are we fucking the moon? We should be fucking NFTs.
Yeah, we should be sending NFTs to the moon.
We should be sending jizz to NFTs.
Yeah.
Anyone that makes an NFT, I'm going to jizz in your mailbox.
I saw this video. I forget who did it, but if I can, like, if I find it, I will link it in the description, but I probably won't be able to. But basically it was like making fun of NFTs, and it was like, hey, check it out, I got this cool NFT, and he was like showing this guy on his phone. He's like, oh cool, can I see that? And he screenshots it and sends it to himself. And he's like, I own it now. And he's like, well, hold on, I have this certificate in the blockchain, which that's another part of NFTs. You have a certificate in the blockchain, like Bitcoin, and you have a certificate, like a deed to it. And then the guy is like, oh, can I see that? Screenshots it, sends it to himself. I own it now.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this right now. I don't think anyone cares about blockchains or anything. Is this even legally, like, like, is it legally supported? Or
well, blockchain is how Bitcoin operates. It's not managed by like central servers.
My Bitcoin, will the government have anything to do with getting it back?
No, I don't think it's like government regulated.
Okay, good. So yeah, no, that just means we can steal whatever the fuck we want.
The idea of Bitcoin, as I understand it, is that you have a blockchain like wallet, and you have like a password to it. But if you lose the password, or if you like try too many incorrect attempts, you just get blocked out of it, and there's no way to like recover it, and you're fucked.
I have an idea. I want to make a new like fucking cryptocurrency, but I want it to have like 17 different passwords, and you have to make a new one for each one because it won't let you do the same one over and over again. That way these people will get onto it, and they'll have to like remember these 17 new passwords, and over time they'll slowly forget their original passwords for the other things, and it'll result in them forgetting their fucking like Bitcoin wallet and their NFT block whatever.
You know what?
We'll ruin them.
You know what?
With monkey brain tactic.
You know what feels really ironic to me?
What?
It tickles me that the way that we measure the value of Bitcoin is in dollars.
Yeah.
And the whole point of Bitcoin is to replace the dollar.
Well, that was the original point. Now it's just like stock market, but for insane people.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of like compelling arguments for why it can, will, and should replace the dollar. But at the same time, it is very fun to clown on it and make fun of it.
Yeah.
Watch as like in a couple of years, Bitcoin will take over all of the world's currency.
If that happens, congratulations, Bitcoin. You did the unthinkable. But it won't, because this isn't some cookie cutter Zack Snyder story.
This is real life, kid. In real life, no currency takes over the US dollar.
Yeah.
Don't even try it.
I'm just saying this right now. We were told to do things like we were told to like wear masks and shit to stop the spread of a virus, and that became a political problem. Do you really think removing the United States dollar, the dollar that has been here for like 200 years, is going to like not have a horrible repercussion from it? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
history has proven time and time again, any change in the United States will be met with an extreme amount of resistance.
Well, I don't know if it could become. I don't know. I don't think it'll become like a political thing, because it's not like Bitcoin. It's not
challenged.
It's not like Bitcoin is trying to like take over the government or anything. Like, it's just trying to be more popular than the dollar.
That's
and
the thing.
idea,
all it takes,
like the idea is that they're just waiting for the US dollar to collapse.
Well, that's the thing. All it takes though is some person to say like if you buy Bitcoin, you're losing your money, and like you all your money won't like be value anymore or whatever, and then people start freaking the fuck out.
No, you know what? Like, you know what I think is going to happen. I think if that does happen, if it does transpire where the US dollar falls out of favor for whatever reason and Bitcoin swoops in to take over, like, you know, if it doesn't just become more popular, if it does turn into like a political, like, oh, are you trying to replace my America dollars? Like, I think someone will just like capitalize on that, and they'll make like a new cryptocurrency and call it like Freedom Bucks or something.
Patriot Bucks.
I think we should be that person.
Patriot passes.
Patriot passes.
Yeah, like the little slips, and they say like they have like generic American like pro-American lines like "God love America" and like "Don't tread on me" and shit like that, and we'll sell that to a bunch of people. Like the images will just be like of all the people that got arrested during the during the assault on the Capitol.
It's gotta like the name of it is very important. It has to like flow really well, and it can't have too many syllables. I feel like Patriot passes, that's too many syllables. It doesn't roll off the tongue. It's not gonna get the like hardcore like 10-gallon hat, like I just want a grill types.
Then you know what we need, Alex? We return to basis.
I say Robux. No, I have a new proposal. I was gonna go with Freedom Bucks because I feel like that's like 3 syllables. That's like probably the max. But I have a 2-syllable idea, and I say we sort of invoke the image of like Americana World War II era kind of propaganda. We call it war bonds. Yeah, like Captain America. Every bond you buy is a bullet in the barrel of your best guy's gun. Rolls
why do
right
you have that
off
memorized?
The fucking tongue. Because it flows so well.
Every bond you buy is a bullet in the best guy's gun.
Okay, all right. This is another video I will link in the description. Tom Scott, great channel. Are you familiar with his videos?
Tom Scott, fuck yeah. I remember back in the days of Ed's World, man. That shit was vibing.
Okay, so Tom Scott uploaded a video like a day or two ago. It was about why Shakespeare could never be French. And he was talking about, what was the term he used? Lexical stressing or lexical stress. Basically like the part of the word that you like highlight, you know, like when you're talking like contest versus contest, you know, like that kind of thing, like what part of the word you stress. And he was talking about like there once was a man from Nantucket, like it's like the part where you stress has to like line up, you know. So like every bond you buy is a bullet in the barrel of your best guy's gun. That has like that perfect like lexical stress pattern.
Oh.
And that will be our slogan. And what's Marvel going to do? Sue us? It's a post-apocalyptic, post-American dollar world. Okay, we can do whatever we want.
You know what? You might be onto something.
So yeah, Alex, fuck NFTs.
I'm gonna put a barrel in your gun. Wait, what did I just say?
I think you either threatened my life or said a euphemism. I don't know.
Either way, I meant it.
So anyway, Falcon and the Winter Soldier came out. Did you watch it?
I watched it. Yeah, it was actually really fucking good. It's just one episode, and it just builds up some things.
Yeah.
But interesting thing is it looks like they're making the leader of Ultimatum his own thing now. So Flag Smasher is like, you know, it's a group instead of a person.
It's an idea.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for, because it looks like the big guy, because like in the show there's a part where like a big guy shows up and he's wearing the mask everyone else is wearing. I think that's supposed to be the Flag Smasher.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to see
Flag Smasher in the show was going to be a girl, the same girl that played the bad guy from Solo.
Oh yeah. Well, hold on. Like, but that looked like a dude, like a really big dude.
What part are you
Like
talking about?
the guy that punched the soldier out with the duffel bags. He like jumped through a hole in the wall that he made with
Which
himself.
which part? Like which scene are you referring to?
When the guy's in France.
At the rally?
Yeah, the rally.
Um,
It's like a big dude there who like he's like, "Oh, you're under arrest," and the guy's like carrying duffel bags. He turns around, and just beats the ever living shit out of the other guy. They have it's the dude that they're looking at with the camera.
yeah, I remember that being the one girl, the one lady. Well, now I'm rewatching it right now. All right.
Uh,
Just finding the scene.
I don't know if I just because I was watching it on not my TV, so maybe it's that. But I could have sworn that was a dude. It's either that's a guy or it's actually Gina Carano, and this is what she's doing now. We only said she wasn't going to be back on The Mandalorian. We never said this. It was really her origin story to be a bad guy.
Okay, yeah, it looks like the guy is someone else.
Oh, yeah, because like if the chick's flag smashed, then I wonder who this guy is.
No, I remember in the trailer we see her face and she's putting on the mask.
Yeah, but like a whole bunch of people are wearing the mask, so I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like,
So they're collectively the Flag Smashers, but
yeah.
I think their leader is the one girl that plays the leader in Solo. I think it's going to be like a similar role, but
I'm interested. I want to.
Anyway,
see
yeah, it looks like they're
goes.
creating super soldiers.
They're making mutants. X-Men confirmed.
Mephisto.
Clearly the big guy. He was Mephisto all
The
along.
U.S. agent is Mephisto.
You know what? I'm happy they have U.S. agent because I cannot wait for the one scene where he goes to fight someone and immediately gets his ass kicked.
I hope that happens. I hope they like send him in somewhere against like the Flag Smashers and he just gets his ass handed to him.
Like,
and then Sam and Bucky have to come in, take the shield and do his job for him.
No, what I want them to do is I want US Agent to be like the worst hero, but then they make him good. So then like they do have him in there because he's supposed to like not be Cap's replacement, but be like the Shield's version of like, oh, Cap's gone, so this is what we got. This is the next best thing.
Yeah, my understanding is that in the comics he's like a bad guy. Like he's not a good dude.
Yeah, he's not good, but he does like join the Avengers and shit. But he's not the best. He's kind of a prick. Like he does start off as like a bad guy, and like he is also, I think in one of the stories, a Hydra agent.
Yeah,
but
no, I don't
think we're ready for that yet.
I have two ideas for what I think will happen. Either it's gonna be like we said, he's just gonna be like a dude that they send into situations where they would send Captain America, try to get like a photo op because they don't expect the Flag Smashers to be like super soldiers.
Yeah.
Or he's like with the Flag Smashers and he is a super soldier, and then we get the reveal that he's like with them.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's just gonna be like a state sponsored like milk toast, like I like puppies and rainbows and the American flag, like very inoffensive media friendly version of Captain America, one that won't like have a mind of his own or question too much.
Okay, to be fair though, wasn't that just Captain America though?
Well, no, Captain America was willing to be a fugitive.
I mean, up until like
multiple times.
Like up until Civil War, yeah, that he was. I'd say that he was basically like that. Because like,
no, okay, in World War II, things are different. Like he's fighting like Hitler and shit, and then, and I mean, you can criticize the U.S. during World War II because the U.S. like when it came to like the social issues, the average U.S. like citizen was kind of on board with Nazi shit, like, oh yeah, the Jews aren't people, like that kind of thing. But yeah, we were fighting the Nazis and stuff, and Captain America's like, yeah, I'm a propaganda guy, and I'm cool with that because we're fighting the Nazis. So it's like you don't really need like I'm a man without a country. Like you don't need that yet. But Winter Soldier came along and he's been out of the ice for a bit and he's like trying to reintegrate and he thinks that things are still, black and white. And then he realizes like, oh, Shield is being infiltrated by Hydra, which we've talked about this, the whole like, oh, we got infiltrated by Hydra. There's no systemic issues. It's just, the Nazis took over. Like, okay, fine. But, we do get Cap like questioning leadership and going off on his own and being like a fugitive. Yeah. So he is willing to step away and question authority. And just like in Civil War, he didn't want to sign the Sokovia Accords for very good reasons. So he went off on the run.
Didn't Avengers say though that Iron Man was right for signing the Sokovia Accords or something?
What do you mean?
Like, wasn't there a scene in Infinity War where they meet back up? They're like, "Yeah, you were right, Cap," and then that's the end of that. Like they just like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is the message we want you to take away." I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, I don't think they say anything like that. But I mean, we do get them like putting aside their differences.
The differences being that one thing that they almost killed each other over.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
However, it is a better reason than Batman's reasoning.
Yeah, and we will get into that later. We're going to cover the Snyder Cut.
I really want to talk about it because
this will be a 5-hour episode.
Please no. I don't want to go through it again.
But no, we're approaching an hour, so I want to try to get through this as much as possible. I want to get through the points that I'd written down. First of all, the Avengers weren't paid. Yeah. They weren't paid at all.
Yeah, I like to imagine they do commission.
They have to like get a head count of every life they save.
It's like, okay, so that'll be carry the 2. $120,000.
Now,
not as much as an NFT house, remind you.
I mean, I guess it does make sense that like
I just assumed Iron Man paid for everything.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. I mean, he obviously like paid for equipment and stuff, but I guess he didn't like give them paychecks because it's like, each of the Avengers has their own like financial situation.
I just looked over at your fucking financial status. I just see Hulk, scientist, parentheses, poor.
Yeah, so I wrote down each of the Avengers and what their financial situation is, as far as we know. So Iron Man, billionaire, obviously. Cap, probably 70 years of back pay from his military pension. Thor, he's a himbo space god. He doesn't trade in US dollars.
He trades in flexes.
And Hulk is he's a scientist, parentheses, poor. Black Widow, dead. Hawkeye, doesn't matter.
I can't tell which is worse.
No, okay, so Black Widow and Hawkeye, they're both S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. They get a S.H.I.E.L.D. paycheck, and then Black Widow is on the run, so we don't actually.
Well, no, Black Widow's no longer moving.
Well, okay, so Black Widow, Cap, and Falcon, they went on the run post Civil War.
Yeah,
I'm really curious. Like I just thought of it. Like, how did they make ends meet? Like, where did they get food?
They became mercenaries.
They must have. No, Cap probably
share.
is really good at money management, and he invested his probably millions of dollars in back pay. And he just has like a savings account that he taps into whenever he's a fugitive.
He invested all into GameStop.
There's this store that sells a futuristic technology called video games. I'm gonna put all of my money into that, and it'll probably take off. And everyone's like, "Oh, you put money into what?" And then who's laughing now?
He puts all of his money into every set, and it just makes the stock so high. He single-handedly caused the GameStop stock rise. He killed thousands of hedge funds. But to be fair, it's the American way.
No, another thought that I had is like maybe the Avengers were paid, but like they forgot to tell Sam.
They just don't consider him an Avenger.
Like Office Space, a very funny movie where one guy like got fired years ago, but due to like a computer glitch, he never like he's still like
Working. He never got the memo.
he never got the notice. Like he still gets a paycheck, but he doesn't work for them technically. And so they're doing layoffs, right? In Office Space. Very funny movie. I recommend everyone watch it.
Yeah.
And so they're like doing layoffs, and these people that are like managing like the finances of the company and stuff are like, yeah, so like we took care of the glitch, and the one guy's like, oh, so you're gonna like tell him that he's fired? Well, we took care of the glitch, so he's not gonna get paid anymore, and we're just gonna let the problem sort itself out.
Yeah.
And the guy never takes the hint. They just keep so he has like a cubicle, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna have to move you to this other office over here. He's like, but I like this space here. And they like put him in like the basement, and then they put him like next to like the furnace. He's like, can I please have my stapler? And the guy takes a stapler. Biggest injustice of all of cinematic history. But yeah, anyway, watch Office Space. I think that might be Sam's situation with the Avengers.
I gotta say, I really love the scene though where they're at the bank and they're talking to the guy. He's like getting pictures. He's like, yeah, we can't do your loan. Can I get another picture of you? It's like the balls on that teller.
Yeah. No,
I'd be impressed if I didn't want to beat him.
I love the direction that they're going. Like with that scene, like it seems like they're gonna really illustrate like what it means to be like a black Captain America, and like like the black experience, that kind of thing. And like because like like there's been a history of racism in the banking industry, and I guess if you're a Ben Shapiro type, you think it just went away once the Civil Rights Act was passed, but no, there's systemic racism still at play in a lot of institutions, like the police, banking, government, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, Avengers.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Avengers. Wrong thing. The Justice League. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
I really want to get into that.
Yeah, so I really like that. I like the direction that they're going with that.
Yeah.
Also, another note that I had written down. It's another piece of military propaganda. I mean, I kind of expected it, but yeah, it's a Captain America movie. They tend to be military propaganda. Just like Iron Man movies too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the MCU has gotten a reputation of basically just being the media arm of the military. And like, I get it.
All superhero movies though, because like all of them are all about that kind of stuff.
Well,
now.
Sure, yeah, but especially Marvel movies, because they deal so closely with the military. Like Captain Marvel. Like, okay, this is a great example because like Captain Marvel, like,
oh yeah,
they worked with the Air Force so closely, and they like worked in her backstory of like being an Air Force pilot. And a lot of people, when they like think of military propaganda, they think of like Uncle Sam wants you to join the military and go off and fight in the war.
They think of the scenes from Starship Troopers when they have the ads.
They think of like every bond you buy is a bullet in the barrel of your best guy's gun. But really, the goal of modern U.S. military propaganda, like it's not meant to make you think of the U.S. military as some sort of like deity or like an almighty like force for good. It's really just to make you think that the army looks fun and cool.
This looks cool. Can't wait to die.
This looks badass. I'm gonna be like Captain America, and I'm gonna be like the Falcon, and I'm gonna ignore international borders.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. That's how that starts, doesn't it? Like they're doing an illegal operation. Like it is to save a guy, but it is all against every jurisdiction.
Yeah, the opening action sequence, like the whole point of like it gets fucked because it's like, oh yeah, we gotta make sure that we don't get caught, violating Libya's border, which it's like, okay, and then what? Like you get caught, and okay, you can just overthrow them again. I mean, we've done it before.
To be fair though, like they're doing it to save that one guy.
Yeah,
but like,
well, that's also
Libya.
how military propaganda works. That's another thing that they do. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, we did a war crime, but it was for a really good reason.
Yeah. In real life, though,
when it's like, okay, sure, I used a flamethrower on an entire village. Sure, I killed children with my bare hands. Sure, I raped all of the women and then lit them on fire. Sure, I pissed on their graves years later when I came back to visit. Okay? But like, one of them stepped on my buddy's shoes. Okay?
You see,
so they had it coming.
You know what? He's in the right. Those are some very expensive shoes.
That's what these movies do. Not specifically MCU movies, but any movie that wants to glorify the military. It's like, yeah, sure, we did illegal actions, but it was because, we were trying to save our friend.
Yeah.
When really the reality is like the people that join the military, like not all army men, not all cops, whatever. Like, okay, fine. Not some of them are good, but the job, just like the police, it attracts the kind of person that wants to pick up a gun and fight brown people. Like that's who you're attracting by putting up that job offer.
Counter argument. It actually attracts, for some reason, bronies.
That's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm not prepared to think about today.
The amount of bronies, furries, and other degenerates that are in the United States military is insane. You can find Reddit stories where they're talking about like days when they have those conventions in town and the entire fucking barracks is empty. Our national borders are patrolled by people who want to fuck their houseplants.
Okay, who the fuck?
Welcome to the United States of America.
Who is making up this demographic of bronies? Because there's like military bronies, like you're saying, but there's also, like we've talked about before, there's like Nazi bronies and Nazi furries. Like,
yeah,
it's enough of a percentage to be statistically significant. Why?
Okay.
How? Is it escapable?
To be fair, it's not that big of a statistic because you're thinking of like how like it's like 20% of the population's one of those two things. And then like 3% of those two things are Nazis for some reason. But it's still, it's like that Doofenshmirtz thing where it's like, if I had a nickel, like it's an avoidable problem, but it's still weird. Like it's like that Doofenshmirtz meme where it's like, if I had a nickel for every time this happened, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's still weird.
That's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah. I just every time I see something like that, like it's always just randomly out of the blue, but I'm always sitting there thinking like, now how though? How does that work fundamentally for them? Like they do realize that the thing that they agree with would kill them in a heartbeat, right? It's like,
yeah, it's like women for Trump, or like gays for Trump. It's like, I get you're allowed to have political beliefs, but like, is this really the one that you want to have?
It's odd because it's like, I don't get it. It's like you're just supporting a guy that's saying that you don't exist.
Yeah, well, it's like the First Amendment is weird because it's like it allows us to think anything, and people do exactly that.
Yeah,
people will think anything, any opinion that you can just make up, someone has it, and I do not understand. I simply cannot wrap my brain around it. It's
because people with hope invented those things without realizing what people would actually come up with. Bless ye founding fathers. At least the ones that weren't racist, so all 2 of you.
But Anyway, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Good. It's not bad. It's a good
we get
show.
more. Yeah, we get more exploration of like Bucky's like psyche, like in I believe Civil War. I think it's when Tony finds out Bucky killed his parents. He's like, "Do you remember them?" And he's like, "I remember all of them." Like we get more like exploration of that. Like, yeah, he literally remembers every assassination that he did.
Well, yeah,
and it weighs on him.
Yeah,
and I think it's really cool to see that like fleshed out.
Like, spoiler alert, he's like friends with one of the guys he murders.
Yeah.
Not one of the guys. He's the friends with the father of one of the guys he brutally murdered.
Yeah. No, imagine if he was friends with one of the guys he murdered. Like a ghost situation.
You know, actually, there's a movie that's all about that. It's called American Werewolf in London. Now, it sounds ridiculous, but
like the song Werewolves in London?
I don't know. I haven't heard that, but maybe.
It's the song that All Summer Long by Kid Rock. He ripped off the piano riff for that.
I gotta find it. I'll listen to it and then I'll tell you. But no, the movie American Werewolf in London is about these two Americans that go to London on like a trip, and then they get attacked by a werewolf, which mauls one of them and then turns the other guy into a werewolf. Like, the way the curse works is that unless that guy like kills himself, all of the souls that he kills will follow him around. And his friend's one of them, and he's just like this decomposing ghost. He's like, hey, you should kill yourself.
Oh,
like,
what is this? Social media? I got him. What's the title?
American Werewolf in London. One of the covers shows like two guys walking around in the dark.
1981.
Yeah.
It's on HBO Max. Like I'm still subscribed to that, so I think I'll watch it.
Yeah, go for it. It's one of those things that's like an actual dark comedy where it's not like, oh, it's just a bunch of racism, but it's like actually like these jokes are pretty fucking dark. Yeah. No, but it's like, it's supposed to be like satire on like shit. And I forget what it's supposed to be satire on. It's been a while. But like, it makes fun of a bunch of stuff. And it's like really fucking graphic. Like the prosthetics they have for the mauled guy, because he decomposes throughout it. So like every time he shows up, he's like in worse shape until he's like a fucking skeleton. And it looks fucking great every scene. But yeah, no, I recommend you check it out. It's actually not that bad. Pretty decent horror movie.
All right, yeah, I'll check it out.
It's like a horror comedy. That's what it's called.
But yeah, anyway, to sort of finish out the Falcon and the Winter Soldier segment, so yeah, it seems like we're already gonna see how Sam and Bucky, like, they're gonna bond over shared experiences. Like, we're already getting like the seeds for that. Like, we're getting the beginning of that, because like this is back in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, when Sam and Cap like first meet in Washington, at like in the opening scene, they like talk about their experiences in war. And they talk about how like when they got home, like their beds were just like really soft, like cause like they sleep on the ground and shit, like when they're overseas, and then when they come back, it's like, oh, the bed's like a marshmallow. I just sink right into it. And then as sort of a callback to that, we see Bucky sleeping on the floor when he's like waking up from his nightmare. So like that's sort of like a callback to a conversation that Cap had with Sam.
You see, I thought that scene meant though is that Bucky has like the worst fucking life he's living right now. He just doesn't.
He definitely didn't get an Avengers paycheck.
Bucky is squatting in someone else's apartment. I just assumed he's sleeping in Sam's. Like, I'll be honest with you, I just figured, he's sleeping on his floor.
Look, I know this is going to be a show about like espionage and like what it means to be a patriot or whatever the fuck, but I just want Falcon and the Winter Soldier to be like a Friends style sitcom where they just are roommates and they figure out how to live with each other.
It's going to be like that, except halfway through they're going to dismantle a terrorist organization in Syria.
No, you know what? I still want all of the like Captain America style adventures and escapades. Like, I want all that. But I just want it to be in the format of like a sitcom. Like, I want it to feel like New Girl.
You want it to be like WandaVision?
Okay, WandaVision is a homage to sitcoms of the past. This will be a it won't even be a homage. It'll just be a sitcom of the present of now. Well, it'll be a sitcom of about 8 years ago. I want it to have the same feel as New Girl. All right?
I'm going to say this. I want it to be like the sitcom of now. I want this to be like Family Guy. I want at one point Bucky is talking. It's like, this reminds me of that one time I fought a lobster in Iraq, and it just smash cuts to some shitty fucking gag.
And then he's fighting the lobster. He's like, oh, this is just like the time back in World War II. And then it keeps going back.
Zooms into his eye into another point. This reminds me of what happened with Hammurabi during the Mesopotamian era. Just keeps
this
going
is just like that one time that a fish came out of the water and it had legs.
This reminds me of the one time God created the universe.
So anyway, Falcon the Winter Soldier. It's looking good. Can't wait for Mephisto to show up.
God turns to the camera. This reminds me of that one time you watched this movie and the screen cuts to black, so you just see the reflection of you sitting there. It's like, oh.
Laughs in projector.
The real Black Mirror was your TV screen.
Whoa, that's deep. That's so deep.
What if that's why it's actually called fucking Black Mirror? I'd be so mad.
I just thought of that.
I'd be fucking mad.
I was like, hey, that's a good double entendre. Wait a second. Is that why they called it that?
That show has the first episode be sensationalism of like a guy fucking a pig because his wife is a hostage. And like, if that's what they're going for, I'm gonna be so fucking mad. Cause you don't open a show like that and then just have the takeaway be your TV black. Anyways, speaking about stupid heavy-handed symbolism, Zack Snyder made another fucking movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I have this broken up into sections. So first I want to just go over like nitpicky stuff, like talking about the CGI, like the just, particular parts that just jumped out at us. And then we'll talk a little bit about, the pacing, just the fact that it's a 4-hour movie. I have a little bit to say about that. Then we can dive into the characters because I know you have.
Oh God!
Yeah,
I have
opinions.
So many notes.
And then we'll talk about the ending because what the fuck was the ending?
Yeah, Alex, I'm gonna say this. What the fuck was the whole movie? Like, I've watched both versions and I hate them both, but I feel like I hate this one more because it wasted 4 hours of my life.
Look, I think we have slight disagreements overall on like the quality of the movie. So I think we should both give our overall opinion on the movie before we get into any of the details. So just overall, without jumping into like what exactly you hated about it, how did you like it?
I didn't. It hurt.
Yeah, so
Alex.
I told you that I wanted you to watch. I told you I wanted you to watch the movie for the podcast.
I told you I
wasn't
like,
going to like it.
it.
I'm not doing it. And I was like, come on. And then I sent you my HBO Max login info, and you were like, all right, I'm gonna watch it. And then
after
about 6 hours later, because you kept pausing to send paragraphs to the Discord chat.
My
so
actual
6 to 8 hours later.
Thoughts.
So about after he's done live Discording the movie, so about 6 to 8 hours later, he calls me and he's like, "Fuck you."
I'm sobbing at the time too. I don't think you heard that, but I was legitimately sobbing.
Oh God.
That movie fucking broke me, man. That movie is so fucking bad. Like,
all right.
I still say the worst movie I've ever seen is The Rise of Skywalker, but that one's pretty fucking high up there. 4 hours.
So you don't like it that much.
I don't. It was terrible. I kept thinking about other movies while I'm watching it. Now, this is going to get later on, but as I'm watching it, the first half is just Transformers. The first half of the movie is the weird spiky bad guys are trying to find the cube.
We'll get into the details in just a second.
Batman is Sam Witwicky.
All right, so have you, before I get into my overall opinion on it, have you seen the original, like the Justice League, as people are calling it?
Yeah, I saw it. It was also terrible. I will say this, at least it had color.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'd say the Justice League cut
watching
did better.
I feel like the problem that I have with how my mood was with that movie is because everything's so fucking like gray. It just made it even more depressing to look at.
Yeah, that's a nitpick that I had. But anyway, my overall take on the movie is that it's not, I don't think it's bad per se. Like overall, I think it's aggressively all right.
I
like
will say this.
it has like good part. Like I like the idea of some of it.
Yeah,
I will give it this. It was a 4-hour movie, but it did keep my attention the whole time. I didn't like, there were parts that I liked about it, and I have not seen the original Justice League, so I kind of went in with a unique perspective where I feel like the way that I watched it, because I haven't seen anything post Justice League either. I haven't seen the new Wonder Woman. I haven't seen Shazam. I haven't seen Suicide Squad. I've only seen Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and now the Justice League Snyder cut. Oh, and Wonder Woman 2. Not Wonder Woman 2. I mean, Wonder Woman in addition.
Not Wonder Woman 2. She rapes a guy.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode.
We'll get into
I feel
it.
like I got exactly what Zack Snyder intended, for better or worse. Like I went in with virgin eyes.
Now, see,
I went in with very little expectations for what it's gonna be, other than like it's gonna be a DC movie. It's gonna be a DC live action movie. It's gonna be dark and gritty and depressing. But other than that, I kind of went in with very little expectations. So I was surprised by how competent it was at parts. Overall, I'd say it's competent. Like I watched it like with the eyes of a researcher. Like I watched it like in an academic sense. I wasn't going in hoping to be like entertained by like the punching and the lasers.
I mean, watched
that
it
helped.
like Prometheus watches his chest be pecked by crows in agony. No, but I will say this. You are right. There are some scenes in here that aren't bad, and sometimes the characters aren't completely fucking stupid.
And I have seen some videos comparing the two, so I do have an understanding of what the Snyder Cut did better.
Yeah, like there were some things that were better. Like I have to watch Justice League again because it's been a while. However, I will say Justice League, better bad guy designs. Like they're still horrible looking.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So let's just jump right into the nitpicky stuff now that we've gotten the overall stuff out of the way. I
need to stress this. Two things that bothered me a little bit. First one, it was a nitpick, but Batman uses Schick Hydro, a $10 razor blade I got in the mail as a recommendation thing that they did. He uses that. Billionaire Bruce Wayne uses Schick Hydro.
Hey, how do you think he affords all of his like tanks? Huh?
I assume he sells it to people.
He's gotta like tighten the belt somewhere. Okay, he's gotta cut costs in some department. Okay, and it's like not gonna be in the gauntlet department. It's not gonna be in the bat tank department. It's not gonna be in the bat themed R&D department.
But no, it's
going to be in the razor department.
This is like that scene in one of those Bond movies, forget which one it was, where Daniel Craig's drinking like cheap Heineken beer. You know, like James Bond is drinking a fucking beer.
Oh, and yeah, I saw that fact video.
Seems weird. It's weird. Like they're not wrong. It's James Bond he's rich and he drinks the best. Batman is supposed to be like a rich guy who like puts a shit ton of money into stuff to keep up appearances and shit. If someone goes into his shitty ass glass house, and that's another thing, Wayne Manor in this universe is like one of those stupid like summer glass houses where if you throw a rock at it, the whole thing shatters and
Well,
is
I don't
gone.
think that's supposed to be Wayne Manor.
Well, what is it then? Because I
don't
hate
know
it.
Okay, look, when that house, when that happened, like when we see that glass house that he's in, honestly,
It's just
I don't
like
know
his
what to make of
getaway
it.
retreat.
Something like that.
I've seen
It's gotta
those
be something
houses
like that.
before. Every time I see them, I know rich people live there, and I really want to throw a rock at it. I don't know if it's because I'm an asshole, probably that, but I just really want to throw a rock at one.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, it just seems weird because, like, even if that's not Wayne Manor, then he spent money on a separate house to sleep in when he's sad,
But no,
but
like,
he
back to
spent
the,
$10 on razor blades.
okay,
The
like
same
the
razor
blade thing.
blades that hold on, the same razor blades that Steppenwolf wears as clothes. I'd like to point out.
Yeah, we'll get into the villain design in just a second, but like I joke about like, oh, you got to cut the belt somewhere. Like, what is he supposed to do? Buy a $5,000 razor? Like the only reason he buys like expensive cars and stuff is to keep up his appearance as like an eccentric millionaire playboy. But like when he's just at home, he's just going to use what's most practical. That's the most Batman thing to do.
Okay, but I've used those razors before, and I can promise you, like, they aren't exactly the best. I liked it, but then again, the reason why I liked it more than my other razors is because my other razors were ones I made out of like fucking like cheese wire and plastic bits to bionicles. So yeah, it's better than nothing, but
Well,
like,
honestly, if you
he's
want a
gonna-
real world explanation, I would probably say that they got a sponsorship. Like it was probably like a product placement.
Yeah, it is a product placement. Like it's just one of those weird ones where it's like, I have that razor. Why the fuck does Batman?
Well, if we're gonna delve into this, if we're gonna delve into how Batman would shave, I feel like he's the type of guy that would just use a straight razor.
I feel
Like
that's
the kind that looks like a fucking machete that you just chop your cheek off with.
No,
Like
I
feel like
exactly
he's
what
that
you're
kind of
talking
guy.
about. He's got like engravings on the handle and shit. It's gonna be like his father's razor or some shit like that.
Yeah, he would just use whatever his dad used, and his dad
like,
probably used the straight razor.
Daddy, your razor blade.
That's like
It's
in
really sad.
Flashpoint, where Batman in that universe is like, son, Bruce.
He's holding on to the rattle. Bruce.
Those two.
Executes a prisoner.
Those two. If we could just take those two versions of Batman and just put him in a nice summer home together, so many people would so many common criminals would just be able to like walk, because neither one of them would be out there like breaking the legs of jaywalkers.
I like to imagine like the reason why isn't that they're having an like it's because
breathing. Snap.
It's because they're both in the room, but they're the entire time they're crying while shouting each other's names, like "Daddy, Bruce," in full Batman outfit, tears streaming down their face.
Oh God!
It's like that for 3 days straight. Like Flash is like, yeah, they're kind of been in there for a while. I wonder what they're up to. Opens the door, they're hugging, screaming. Oh.
So anyway, the Snyder cut.
Not as good as our idea. Yeah,
So
no,
anyway,
so,
nitpicky stuff.
CGI is terrible in it, I'd
CGI,
say.
yeah, I'd say it's passable at best, and at the worst, it looks like a school project. Like specifically, when I started the movie and I started my notes, I noticed like Lex Luthor when he's standing in the like fucking Lazarus pit. I know that's not what it is, but like when he's standing in like the pit of water at 3 minutes 50 seconds. It looks like
so
Screams in the dark.
Photoshopped.
Yeah, it looks so poorly composited. So, Jared, have you been to Screams in the Dark? It's a local
I
Halloween
fucking love
attraction in northern Michigan.
Choose your next words carefully, Alex, because that's a fucking thing I love.
I am a big fan of it too. I love it a lot. I like
Good.
to make
I'll put the
the actors
down.
laugh. It's fun. So there's this one part where you're like, so it's like a little like fun house, like maze kind of thing. Like you go through and like people scare you and stuff. Standard Halloween stuff. And there's this one part where like it's supposed to be like simulating like you're walking through like a murky swamp. And so they have like it's like a fog machine.
That's
and they have
what
like
it
lasers
looked like.
and stuff. Yeah. And it looks like you're in like a swamp, but obviously you're not. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
It looked like a smoke and lasers effect.
Lex Luthor in that puddle was
It looked
the
so
most...
low budget.
I don't know why they did that. It's like they just took a random scene of him walking around and then just cut off his legs and put him in.
Yeah, I feel
I think that's actually what they did.
It's too soft is the problem. It's too soft of like a border. So it makes it look like misty for some reason when it's not supposed to be.
You see, what I saw, it looked like he was on top of all the other layers for that scene. Like it was like you could clearly tell that he wasn't in that scene originally. It's like they just cut him out and stuck him on there real fast. Like it was a last minute thing they did.
Like the original like scene that he was in, he must have been like standing in just a normal room or something.
Yeah.
And then they just poorly composite him into that.
And I just want to point out an entire team made this, and it took them 3 years to finish the unfinished scenes in that movie. You know, the movie that they already had done.
Yeah, and I don't understand it like for another reason, because like there's no reason to push the Snyder cut out there's no deadline. I think like I don't think there's like a specific date, because like they're not releasing it theatrically. This is just a passion project that they're putting out just because the fans want it enough and they think it'll get enough subscribers to HBO Max. So like if they get it out now or next month, does it really matter?
Yeah, no, it doesn't really matter. But that's the thing. It's because it's actually they lied the whole time, and then they realized, oh, we don't have a movie. We need to make one.
I guess.
So they got people to help them make a movie, and by they got people, I mean they basically just like did what Rise of the Skywalker did, and just find Carrie Fisher's dead ghost clips and shoved them in. They made a horrible amalgamation. Oh, I will say this: Henry Cavill's lip. It was hard to tell if that was real or not, but.
Yeah, no, I don't think they CGI'd his lip, because there's the scene that they did it for. Like they're okay. I think they did it for.
That's right.
Yeah, they did it for that one scene that I believe was at the beginning of Justice League, and
I could have sworn
they cut that entirely.
Movie.
Well, there were reshoots that they did for Justice League.
Oh, that's right.
And like the scene where they resurrect Superman and they're like fighting in the like public square or whatever, and. Yeah, like that part they did some reshoots and they CGI'd his lip for that. I don't think that they used the reshoot footage for that, because nothing stood out to me, and I know for sure if he had a CGI lip, it would definitely stand out because I've seen the footage of it.
Yeah. All right, next one. We got the 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah, it didn't bother me that much. Like I got used to it, but it did feel really unnecessary.
I will say this: Zack Snyder was actually genius there, because when he did that, it let me do my notes while also watching the movie at the same time.
Yeah.
I also could put it in a like as you see in my notes when I do screenshots when I make a funny haha. It's off to the side while everything else I have around it is still open because I was doing other things while watching it.
Dual monitor gang, rise up.
Not even. I'm just sitting there with my one TV screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dual monitor gang. That's me. Rise up.
Oh, nah, I'm gonna just you sit right back down. But yeah, no, I don't understand why he did that. Like, what was the point of that? Like,
well, I've seen articles on it. And apparently what he was trying to do was emulate the feeling of IMAX, because the IMAX, when you see a movie at the theater, it's taller, like it's a taller aspect ratio. Like I noticed, like when theaters open up again and you see an IMAX movie, if some of it is shot in IMAX, like there are some movies that I've seen, like I think some Marvel movies or something, like action movies, they tend to have scenes, like when they're mastered for IMAX, they have some scenes that have been shot specifically for IMAX, like action sequences. And then they have just normal scenes, like with dialogue and stuff, that are just like the normal, like cinematic 21:9 aspect ratio. So you can see, like, oh, I remember Black Panther did this. Black Panther, there were some scenes where it was the IMAX ratio, which is taller, and then they have it for the widescreen for other scenes. So what Zack Snyder was trying to do was kind of invoke the feeling of being in an IMAX theater, because it's, I guess, more immersive, which it is. IMAX theaters are incredible. It's an amazing experience. Every Marvel movie that comes out, I try to see it in IMAX if I can, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work when you're just at home. Like I watched this on my computer and it did not work.
I'm watching it on my TV, and I like, when I had it full screen for like some of the shots, I wanted to do funny memes with it. Because like some of it is good meme material. I will give that movie credit. You got 4 hours worth of dumb scenes you can use. But watching it, I put it in full screen, and like the middle of my big ass TV is where the movie is, and then there's these giant black bars next to it. Like the movie's being held hostage and I'm watching it through the cage or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is unnecessary and kind of dumb. And if that's the reason, Alex, that just sounds pretentious as fuck.
It is. It is pretentious as fuck. No, the whole point of like choosing an aspect ratio for something, like the whole point of the widescreen aspect ratio for movies, is that it's more immersive because you can fit more stuff horizontally on the screen. And then the entire point of IMAX is for because it's, you know, it's a different theater. Like an IMAX theater is built for IMAX, so it has a taller screen, and so you fill up more of that space. It's really about filling up space and utilizing it as efficiently as possible, any aspect ratio. So 4:3 on just a normal 16:9 TV or computer monitor, it's wasteful and unnecessary, because you're restricting horizontal space. And that's why I think it's unnecessary. But I mean, it really didn't bother me that much. Like it bothers, like the idea of it bothers me, but in practice, I stopped thinking about it about 10 minutes in.
Yeah, what I did, since I was watching the movie in the corner, I set it up to where like the black bars were hidden by my other pages opened up. So it's like I'm watching a normal movie. So I just, it didn't really bother me. It was just kind of dumb watching it. It felt like I was watching a movie for an iPhone, but
yeah,
you know, on my TV.
Yeah, it's like Jack's Films tweeted, finally a movie that I can watch on my iPhone 4.
Yeah. It's not wrong. All right, next one. This is my biggest complaint. Too much slow-mo. I said this, and I think you were like, hey, you're stealing my notes. I said this movie would only be this length of like an hour and 20 minutes if they removed half of the slow-mo shots.
Yeah.
I want to do this because I wrote this down. This is my exact line I wrote down. Look, I get it. It's cool to show off that every fucking character is bulletproof, but oh my god, does it have to be every fucking scene? Slow-mo technology is a sin to cinema, and this movie proves it. And I stand by that still.
Yeah, slow-mo peaked with the Matrix and the bullet time
it
sequence.
Should have stayed there. Just saying.
I say we should have retired slow-mo as a concept with that movie.
Every time someone uses a superpower, it's immediately in slow-mo. And the most painfully ironic example is every time the Flash runs, he's going so fucking slow. And it's hilarious to me. But I will
It feels
Only
like they're
say
trying
this
to do
once.
like X-Men Quicksilver type stuff, but they're obviously not executing it very well.
I'm going to tease this for later, but because of Zack Snyder's slow motion everything, it gave me an idea on how to kill the Flash. More on that later. But yeah, so like, it's just,
I had the same thing written down. This would be the length of a regular movie without the slow-mo.
I had another thing. I need to find it. But I was watching this movie, and at one point, like every so often the movie is just like either it's slow-mo or it's here we go. Half this fucking movie is slow-mo shots, and the other half is songs Zack Snyder likes. Because like half of it, for some reason, there's just like these like slow music videos where the characters are like walking to their next destination, and it's got like a song over, like some indie song or like a hard rock song or something. It's just like, yeah, he just put this in because he thought it looked cool in his head. And it's like, if we remove half these shots,
that is a Zack Snyder problem that he tends to have with a lot of his movies. Like he just goes like, boom, explosion, cool.
Yeah, that's another thing. Everything explodes in this movie. One of the things I said, and I still stand by it as a dumb idea, is all of the technology in this movie like oozes for some reason. Let me see if I can find it, because I can't remember the exact word I said, but it was just gross sounding, and
something
I want you
involving
to hear
pre-cum.
Yeah. Hold on, let me find it. Where is it? I want to kill Flash. Flash should be dead. I want to fucking kill Flash. Why isn't Flash dead? I'm still looking. Fuck it. All the times I'm talking about the fucking cyborg shit. I went on a whole rant about that because that's an annoying thing. I'll talk about that too.
We can get into that when we get into the characters.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Why is the alien tech in this built like gushers? Like anytime someone uses something, there's some driblets of pre-cum that shoots out. And that's not wrong.
I hate that you phrased it like that, and I hate that it's accurate.
Like, that's what happens. Like, he's like, Steppenwolf has like, okay, also the technology is poorly explained. Like, the mother box are like a terraform device, but he's shoving them into like this weird wall thing. And every time he does that, all of a sudden, like, the wall just starts oozing and it's like dribbling out fucking like orange juice and shit. And it's like
literally just a video game collectible.
I don't understand why it does that. Why he's just like, time to put the cube in the wall.
Oh no, it's just like, another brick in the wall.
That wall is made out of orange gushers and I hate it. But yeah, no, it's just all the technology in this movie that the bad guys have. It's either razor blade pajamas or everything is full of liquid for no reason.
Yeah, that's one thing that I had written down. Spiky Thanos is too spiky.
There is a part where Steppenwolf is talking to Desaad, which is like Darkseid's right-hand man. And he's talking to him, and as he's talking, the armor like undulates, and I can't help but think that's just repeatedly stabbing him the whole time, and it just bothers me. It's like, Jesus Christ, Steppenwolf, who's telling you to wear this? Get some normal fucking clothes. Oh my god.
Well, you know how Steppenwolf is like, he's like on probation with Darkseid. Darkseid's like, hey, fuck you. You're gonna go get this planet for me, and if you don't, I'm gonna kill you. Like, that armor is probably just his punishment.
Just the punishment
for whatever
outfit.
he did.
Yeah, that's the thing. They never explain what Steppenwolf did that was so bad.
I guess he just like failed Darkseid. Like he failed in some mission.
And that's another thing. They Darkseid exiles Steppenwolf from his army and sends him on like a murder crusade to prove his loyalty. And then like the exact moment, spoiler alert for this god-awful movie, by the way. The exact moment when Steppenwolf finds the anti-life equation, which is something that Darkseid's been searching for his entire life, he's like, oh yeah, just wait there. Just take over the planet, everything. I'll be there when you're done. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? He did something so heinous against you that you exiled him from your fucking planet, but you're gonna trust him not to take the thing that you wanted this whole time? Like, you don't trust him enough, but you're gonna trust him with the most important thing to your goals?
Yeah.
What the fuck motivation is that?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Like, it really fucking bothers me. Darkseid in this movie, all of his decisions are just so generic villain sounding. Like, it's like the Saturday morning cartoon villain. Like, he's not going to show up. He's going to let Steppenwolf do it because he's the villain of the special. But Darkseid's the main bad guy, so he has to be there. He's like Firelord Ozai, except, you know, wrong in every aspect. I hate it. I really hate it. Like, there's that part at the very end where Superman's like beating the shit out of Steppenwolf and Darkseid's just standing there watching. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Probably enjoying it.
I know, but like, his whole plan is they're going to go to Earth, they're going to take over Earth, they're going to get the life equation. The portal to Earth is open right there, and like, you have a whole army, you have the rest of your lieutenants and shit, you're all assembled in the throne room and you're staring at it. Why didn't you go through?
Because, Jared, it's about sending a message.
What was the message? We're pretty lazy, don't worry, Earth. You got 50 more movies.
The message is, fuck you, Steppenwolf. I hope your razor armor is comfy. You get to handle this on your own, okay, bud? Okay, okay, big guy.
You ever heard of the show Justice League Unlimited?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
The end is a invasion Darkseid does on planet Earth, and it's an amazing like send-off for the series. Darkseid in that did more than the one in this, and he only showed up like halfway through the last episode. It's like a 5-part like fucking series for that part, for the ending.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Darkseid, they took a character in the comics who's known to be a ruthless warlord and a brilliant tactician and turned him into a giant gray screaming monster that just sits around all the time. I hate it. All the DC fans always go on and on about how these movies are like the most accurate portrayals of the characters and shit. And it's like,
does anyone say that?
Yeah, I hear people say that all the time. It's like, oh yeah, this is great. It's like Batman from this issue and stuff. It's like, another thing, Batman kills more people in this movie than Steppenwolf does.
Yeah.
But they're aliens, so I guess they don't count. I guess Batman only takes the life of things that don't live on Earth. And I get, like, you know, alien invasion and all that stuff, but come on, like,
yeah, he straight up like uses guns and shit.
There's a part where Batman picks up like an alien assault rifle and just starts shooting everyone he sees, and it's like, yeah, this is exactly what Batman would do. You know, the guy that, you know, has mastered all forms of karate and shit like that, so he doesn't have to use guns. He'd immediately pick up a gun and use it. I know we haven't gotten into the whole thing yet, but I just want to say this movie is basically just spectacle without substance for 4 hours.
That's definitely fair and bold of you to say. Hey, we tied it back.
Hell yeah! This movie made me so violently ill.
Yeah, another thing that bothered me is the Wonder Woman scene where she's like stopping the like bank heist. Yeah. Okay. Like, I feel like that whole scene should have been more like stealth based, since like they have hostages. Because like going in guns blazing, that's how you get innocent people killed.
One of the things that bothered me the most is that they have like a bunch of snipers outside, like aiming into this room that has a bunch of windows and you can see everything, all the guys with guns and shit. And the main guy's like, no, don't shoot. They have kids in there. And it's like, what the fuck does he think all the snipers have? Bazookas? Like, they could easily kill every single person and save the hostages. Like,
Well, I get why they wouldn't take the shot, because if they kill one of the people doing the heist, then any of the others can just, you know, kill all of the hostages.
Yeah, I know, but like that's exactly takers.
That's exactly why I think Wonder Woman shouldn't have gone in just, you know, guns blazing, you know, doing all the punching and the kicking, because because the movie shows us exactly that point when Wonder Woman is like taking care of the bomb. And by the way, they have a bomb.
I forgot about.
I don't know if the police know about it or not, but yeah, she's taking care of the bomb, and so she like jumps up and throws it into the sky so it doesn't hurt anyone. And then as she's up there, we see there's one guy left, and he is like about to shoot one of the hostages, and then he's like, I'm not feeling the vibe of this gun. So he, walks over to pick up another one, and then he takes his sweet ass time cocking it and loading it and stuff. And then Wonder Woman comes back and, like kicks his ass. And but it's like he could have easily killed like a number of people just while she's jumping up and taking care of the bomb.
Alex, you're missing the 5 minutes of the slow-mo of him shooting the gun, you watching the bullet go, and then it hits her bracelet.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is...
that happens way too often in that scene.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying, though, is like she's not in the room. She just left the hostages in the room with the bad guy.
Yeah. She is the worst at this situation.
Yeah,
like,
I just feel like it should have been more tactical. Like it should have been a showcase of like her ability to like stealthily handle a situation and be more tactical as opposed to just being a superhero. Like as opposed to just being strong.
Everyone knows Wonder Woman's only ability is that her bracelets are magical, and if she hits them together, it explodes a bank.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, she uses that power way too much. I think Zack Snyder only saw one comic, and that was the panel he saw for her. I don't know if he knows she can fly or what the lasso of truth does, because anytime he uses those items, like, nothing works.
When you mentioned the lasso of truth, it reminded me of a scene, because like when I was watching the videos about the Justice League versus the Snyder Cut, there was, I guess, one scene that was in Justice League that didn't get included in the Snyder Cut, where Aquaman is like sitting on the lasso of truth and he starts like hitting on Wonder Woman, which like, how did we not know that Joss Whedon was a creep at that point? Like there have been allegations against him. Like we've known for a little bit now that he's a creepy dude. He's not a good guy. But like moments like that, and moments like Age of Ultron when Bruce Banner like lands face first in Black Widow's tits, like how
from an old age, and also Austin Powers.
How did we not know that there was something up with that guy?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, though, you couldn't have noticed because those are like really old, like couch gag jokes that they used to make in those action movies.
Well, sure. But I mean, Age of Ultron was 2015. That was like, no, he was the only one doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, he probably thought it was funny.
Well, of course.
Like, he's a weirdo, but I don't know.
People like that, they're like, oh, it's just a joke, because they think it's funny to either be misogynistic or objectify women. But my point is, we saw him doing it. How did we not put two and two together? That's just the point that I wanted to make about that.
Yeah.
But no,
Spiky Thanos.
Yeah, we already
spiky. Yeah.
We already did that one.
This would be a lot better if I had any attachment to this universe. That's a good point, because like this is the Infinity War and Endgame of this movie, of this universe, and it's the third fucking movie in it.
Yeah. Yeah, they like we got Man of Steel. We got Man of Steel. That's like their Iron Man. That's their introduction to the universe. Then we immediately got Civil War.
Yeah. And now we have Endgame.
Yeah, we got like Iron Man, then Civil War, then Captain America, the First Avenger, and then Infinity War.
I had a cousin that used to tell me so much that DC is much better than Marvel because their stories make more sense and stuff. He kept saying that Civil War made no sense to him and stuff like that.
Oh, is this the same guy that was like, oh, I love Suicide Squad. It's such a good movie. You just don't get it.
Yeah. The same guy that doesn't understand Gangs of New York, because why would people follow Bill the Butcher? He's such an asshole. It's like, it's almost like he's in charge of the biggest gang and has all the food trade. You know, it's almost like basic ruling 101.
Well, who hasn't had a boss that's an asshole?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Quit?
He was telling me though, it's like you should like Batman v Superman makes more sense than in Civil War. It's like you're such a fucking moron. It's like, oh my god, these movies, like, yeah, you can like them and stuff, but like, they're not better in any way. Their stories literally all hang on like whether or not someone says the magic word. Like later on in the movie, Superman like is evil until he sees Lois. And then boom, he's hero again.
Batman should have been like, save Martha.
I thought he was going to do that. When Batman shows up, he was like looking at, I thought he was going to just start screaming, Martha, like trying to fix it. I was really hoping they were going to do something like that. Because like what they should have done with that scene is they should have had Batman say, like do the Martha thing. And then Superman still tries to kill him just because it'd be great to shit on that fucking stupid plot point. Oh yeah, there's so much world building for stuff that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's the next note.
Name dropping the lanterns feels weird. Yeah, you know, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
because the like, I said this in my notes. It's like I'm happy that they said that they kept the what did I say? It was I'm happy that Justice League still like where is it? Here we go. Good to know DC respects its canon by keeping the shitty Green Lantern designs. They're all wearing like that horrible suit and shit.
Yeah, it just felt weird because like when they do like the flashbacks to like the first time Darkseid came to Earth, and like you see like the Green Lantern, and you see there's like Zeus.
Yeah, like, Zeus and Ares are there.
It's like, yeah, there's so much world building for stuff that we are not going to get because DC isn't like, they're not like making a series anymore. They're making movies that loosely connect to each other. We have a very low chance of having any of this stuff pay off.
This is the thing that bothered me about that though, is you see how they have all the Amazons there and they're like it's like this huge alliance to defeat Darkseid.
Yeah.
Throughout the beginning of the movie, all of the Amazons have no idea what the mother boxes do, and they seem so fucking confused when like the Queen mentions Darkseid and shit. It's like, what did she not tell them anything? Is she like Holdo from fucking like Star Wars? Does she just assume if she doesn't tell anyone anything, it'll be okay?
Yeah. Also, you got to question like, some of these people must have been around for it because like I know the Queen, she's like she was there, like she's over 5,000 years old, and this happened 5,000 years ago. And isn't Diana Wonder Woman, isn't she like roughly 5,000 years old?
No, she's old, yeah, but she was born after that time. But she was told about it because she's like the chosen one thing. Hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta go grab something.
I know like she wasn't alive at the time, but she was born shortly after.
I believe so, yeah. Sorry if I'm quiet now.
Well, yeah, you are, because you went away from the microphone.
I just had to grab something. Oh, there we go. But yeah, no, it's just like... I hate universes where it's like we have to protect this thing and then they just don't say anything about it. Like, it's like, why would you purposely make them so like underprepared?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, and the thing that bothers me the most about it though is like during the scene when Steppenwolf attacks the Amazons, it's like every part of their plan to keep them from getting the mother box is set up for this exact situation. Like I said, like, what if instead of like Steppenwolf coming through, what if it was like an energy blast? That whole building would collapse into the sea and you wouldn't get the box anymore. Like, because like how it's set up is that they break these dried oak pillars, which are the only things keeping up this gigantic metal and stone building, which, disbelief, but like, what is it? The air of disbelief or what? Illusion of disbelief or whatever you call it.
Suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, that was broken at that point, man. I like everything else, but like, yeah, here's a giant monastery we built, and these are the only things keeping it up. These 4 stone pillars,
Yeah, it didn't
inside
really
of
bother
it.
me that much. I mean, it's believable.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's just
I mean, Stonehenge has been up as long as it has been, so I mean, it clearly doesn't take a whole lot to just keep a rock where it is.
yeah, but like these ones were the only things keeping the rock where it was. They destroyed these 4 specific wooden logs and it sent the entire thing collapsing.
In a story about like gods and aliens and a dude that can fly and came back to life and a guy that runs so fast it reverses time, I feel like the idea that some very thick logs would keep a rock suspended
No.
isn't like that. It's not like immersion breaking.
Well, it's not like
It's not a
immersion
deal
breaking, but
breaker.
it just feels needlessly goofy. Like, you know,
Yeah, there are some things in this movie that are like really goofy.
it's like it's trying to be super serious. It's R-rated because they have all this blood and gore in it, which, like, let's be honest, does it really need an R rating? There wasn't a scene where some guy's like holding his fleshy stump like in Vikings, which is R-rated.
No, it's because Batman
It's
said
like-
fuck.
Did he? I didn't hear him say fuck.
He
I
did.
probably like toned it out, or
Like
it
a
was
couple
probably so
times.
insignificant. Yeah, he probably did.
He said it
Yeah,
to the
I'm-
Joker. He was like, let's fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll fucking kill you. That's another thing. We'll get to that later, but please don't ever fucking do the Joker again.
Yeah, fucking hate.
That was
Jared
the most
Leto Joker.
cringy. That was the most cringy scene because it's like all those like edgelords that think they're the Joker. It's like, you wanna know why I got these scars? And they ruined
Society.
yeah, it's like those fucking like incels online that think they're the Joker because women don't want to talk to them.
Yeah, basically.
Usually for the same reason.
No, another part that seemed like really campy to me was when Steppenwolf sets up camp in like
Oh, yeah?
some Chernobyl type area, in like a old like abandoned nuclear reactor. And he's like, "It's toxic. That's good." Like, it felt like a very campy line from a much more silly and frankly better movie. Like it felt like 60s Batman. Like it felt like that level.
That's the thing. Like all the villains in this movie, I said this when I ran about Darkseid being a terrible villain in this movie. It's like all of the villains are just generic, like Saturday morning cartoon villains in this. But we're supposed to pretend that they're these intimidating threats. It's like, I can't take them seriously when you have them saying and doing this stuff. They're just so just generic villain. Like they do everything short of like twisting their evil mustache while laughing.
Yeah.
It's just like at what point I was waiting for fucking Steppenwolf to at one point like dump pollution into the water because that's basically what it seemed like his goal was turning into.
He feels like a villain from Harley Quinn, the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max. Great show. Check it out. Watch it, audience.
Yeah.
It just felt like that level of like silly just in that moment. That it's toxic. That's good.
Zack Snyder to his fan base. I'm sorry, low hanging fruit. It's toxic. That's good.
Anyway, this is another nitpick that I had. It's not really that serious, but we don't need title screens to tell us what act we're in. Like,
yeah, okay. That was super fucking pretentious. Like
okay,
the
I understand
part
it.
one, like you better not count on it, Batman. And like the worst one is
the
like
naming though. The naming sucked because it's like you name it after like a single line that doesn't really tie in with any like it doesn't tie in with the whole thing that much. Like a little bit.
The it's all just lines that people say too.
Yeah.
Like the biggest, most like fucking cringy, pretentious example was part 6, All the King's Horses. That just feels like something a student art film would have in it. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
This entire movie feels like a student art film. And you know what? Coming from the guy that ruined The Watchmen, not surprising.
Yeah, that's a really common criticism of Zack Snyder that I can get behind. He Like with the Watchmen, it's a story about like how like it's basically like about how superheroes are awful, and then and they like kill people in the story. The Watchmen kill people, and Zack Snyder, and it's a commentary, and Zack Snyder saw that, he was like, they kill people, that's awesome.
Yeah, like okay, I know we're supposed to be talking about Justice League, but I want to talk about this, like, because it ruins the original story that Moore did, and it's like all of the superheroes are horrible. Like Night Owl is like is basically like, what's the word? Like, it's not confirmed, but okay, it's implied that he's a pedophile. Silk Spectre is like
in the comics,
she's just like. Yeah, like in the comics and stuff. Like Silk Spectre is basically just used as like a sex toy by everyone. Fucking the worst character in it is probably Rorschach, because he's like a QAnon conspiracy theorist. Like his whole character is he's like a racist, like horrifying psychopath. Like you're not supposed to root for him. But Zack Snyder, like he made a movie where it's like Rorschach's the coolest hero ever because he's got the mask thing. And it's like, are you a fucking moron? Did you not read the comic? It's like, he makes it seem like the comedian's death is like this like tragedy that's befallen the world, when in all actuality, in the comic books, no one cared because the comedian was a mass murdering psychopath that raped people. Like Ozymandias is like supposed to be this like asshole bad guy, but in the comic, he's like the only guy that has like at least. Like he's terrible. He's a jackass, but his goals, like you understand where they're coming from, and you're like, that's a horrible thing you're doing. But like, you know, it's one of those the ends justify the means kind of thing. If you have to look at it like that in order to get it and shit. It's like they're all horrible people. Right. You're not supposed to root for them.
No, I don't have a lot of like firsthand information on this, but like I've heard that like Zack Snyder's like politics are kind of troubling, because apparently he's like a huge like Ayn Rand fan.
Ayn Rand?
Yeah. Okay, so you don't know who Ayn Rand is?
Nah, not really. I try to avoid politics these days.
Okay, so she's like a writer from I want to say like the 30s or 40s, like olden days era. And
okay, I'm starting to piece together. Is it like bigotry shit?
Yeah. So actually a lot of her books were the inspiration for BioShock, like some of the imagery in BioShock and like the ideology of like Andrew
mean
Ryan.
BioShock, the story that's basically supposed to be a cynical satire on, you know, the whole idea of like, what was it? I forget what the political
anarcho-capitalism.
Ideology. Yeah, that.
Yeah, that's yeah, like Andrew Ryan and like Fontaine, like they're like heavily inspired by Ayn Rand's books and like her ideology. But yeah, she's like the original anarcho-capitalist, like in the public eye. Cause like her, like if you asked her like what her beliefs are, like fundamentally she'll say like, oh yeah, it's weakness to care about other people. Like not, she won't even like code it like a normal conservative will do. Like if you ask a normal conservative, like, oh, you know, we just don't have the budget for, you know, give everyone health care, or, you know, or, you know, to have more immigrants, which is just a long way of saying, I don't care about other people. But she will literally say, no, it's a weakness to care about other people. Like it's a weakness to like, you know, allow for handicapped people to exist.
That's the most generic bad guy thing I've heard.
And apparently, I could be wrong about this, but apparently Zack Snyder is super into that.
God. You know what? I'm not surprised. This is the guy that calls his movies films.
Like if I am mistaken on this, I will eat my words. I will do a retraction. But that's the information that I have accumulated, and I have not bothered to fact check it yet. Actually, I'll fact check it, and I'll put a little. I'll put in a voice clip of me correcting myself right now. Okay, so I was able to find an article from Critics at Large called "Snyder Shrugged: The Disturbing Politics of the Cape and Cowl." basically backing up the claim that, Zack Snyder is a fan of Ayn Rand. He, it looks like he had said it in an interview or something, but so if you don't know who Ayn Rand is, she's basically like the OG anarcho-capitalist. She founded the ideology of objectivism, which is basically like Ben Shapiro brand facts don't care about your feelings, like edgy debate lord kind of stuff. If you want an idea of who she was as a person, this is a quote. I will have this linked in the description along with that article. This is from WikiQuote. They, parentheses Native Americans, didn't have any rights to the land, and there was no reason for anyone to grant them rights which they had not conceived and they were not using. What was it that they were fighting for when they opposed white men on this continent? For their wish to continue a primitive existence, their, quote, right to keep part of the earth untouched, unused, and not even as property, but just keep everybody out so that you will live practically like an animal or a few caves above it. Any white person who brings the element of civilization has the right to take over this continent. So yeah, she's all for Native American genocide, so that's her stance on that. This is another quote. Do you know that my personal crusade in life, in the philosophical sense, is not merely to fight collectivism nor to fight altruism? These are only consequences, effects, not causes. I am out after the real cause, the root of evil on earth, the irrational. So that's I'm referring to altruism, basically the idea of doing things for other people because it's the right thing as a consequence of being irrational. So yeah, basically, like I was saying, she doesn't care about anyone other than herself or, her group. And, Zack Snyder apparently is really on board with that. And you can sort of see it in his movies. If there was no voice clip, I am right. And Zack Snyder is liberals. A bad dude. But anyway, yeah, so
back to this movie that this horrible man made.
Yeah, let's try to get through it as quickly as we can because we just passed 2 hours.
Oh god. Every scene with Aquaman in it, they try to make him seem like a badass, but he's like the biggest douchebag dickhead I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
And beyond me wanting to kill the Flash because of how like terrible he is, like not as like a person, but just as like something to listen to, I would also like to kill Aquaman, but this time just because he's terrible as a human being.
Well, okay, the Flash is a victim of poor writing. In Justice League, it's a lot worse, and there's like remnants of it in the Snyder cut. The Flash, like they're trying to make him quippy so he can be like a Marvel like comic relief type thing. It's fine, I guess. Aquaman, I feel like he's not written poorly. He's just written with flaws. And
his
like in Justice
he's
League,
a jackass.
In Justice League, as I have come to find out, he was a lot more like an uncaring asshole, especially toward like Cyborg. But in the Snyder cut, he actually seems to like have empathy.
Yeah, like at one point, but like I don't know, it just feels like all the parts where they start to care about each other just happen out of nowhere. There's no like moment where they have like a heart to heart and actually understand the other characters. It's like they just go from like being like I hate you and then like, oh, you're cool, I guess. I told you I hated you 5 minutes ago, but now I think you're cool. Why? Because we need to have a team up scene.
Yeah, that's basically like how Batman v Superman was.
Yeah, and wasn't that also Zack Snyder?
It's almost think like he so. Can't. Hold on, let me look this up.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, I feel like it's almost like he can't write good people interactions.
Yeah, Zack Snyder directed it.
Yeah, so I thought, but it's just like if it's just every time there needs to be a hero team up, there's no like thing that happens that they need. It's just they talk and then the guy reconsiders later, which is like I guess that might be realistic, but there's no like,
yeah, it's like Aquaman. Like you were talking about this during the movie, but you mentioned that like Aquaman's motivations aren't very clear, and like it got me thinking like, yeah,
He doesn't want to help, and then he saves a guy from a sea, which also, biggest dick move Aquaman does is he saves a guy from drowning, throws him through a table, tells him he has to pay for his alcohol, and then leaves to join the Avengers. Like, what the fuck, Aquaman? It's like, he better take care of the storm. It's like, what?
Well, no, that made sense because it's like he's a gruff dude and he's like a reluctant hero type, and he's like, oh, this fucking guy. Like, he's gonna save his life, but he's gonna be like, oh, just fucking stay out of the storm next time. Like, I understand that. Like, that's just his character. I wouldn't say that's bad writing.
I'd say it's a bad character, though.
There's a difference between writing a character with flaws and flawed writing for a character.
Yeah. Still, though, I've really hated Aquaman in this movie. He was such a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
but no, back to his motivations, though. Like, you were mentioning this. Like, what are his motivations? Like, why is he helping them? Like, it's... Yeah. Looking back on
Willem Dafoe
it was like...
shows up, and he's like, you have to help the humans. And he's like, I don't want to. He's like, you bastard. And then he leaves. And then that's it.
Well, then...
Like, he doesn't think about it.
He's half human, half Atlantean. And I believe... his mother was Atlantean and she was like the queen of the ocean or whatever. Then she like left him with his father and he was raised with the humans. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like he's doing it out of loyalty to his mother, but like he was like, oh, I fucking hate her. But then they were like, oh, but she wanted the best for you. And she, you know, she cared, but she couldn't raise you or whatever. And then he's like, oh, okay, I'm a hero now.
Like, I know in the Aquaman movie, they go more in depth with his like emotional, like,
yeah, and I haven't seen that, so I don't know anything about it.
It's all right. It's not the best. I still say out of all the superhero movies DC has made, I like Shazam the most. Wonder Woman's the second one, and Aquaman's the third.
Yeah, I've heard
like those
are
the three best ones. Yeah, Shazam is great. Like, I fucking love that. That's what Superman should have been, because like the whole point of Shazam is that he's like in that movie, he's like not a edgy, brooding dickhead.
Yeah,
he's like an actual like lovable character, and I feel like that should have been Superman. Superman is supposed to be like the Boy Scout. Why is he snapping people's necks again?
Because Zack Snyder does not understand what makes heroes great.
He just thinks violence is the only option.
Yeah. No, next nitpick though. The scene with Wonder Woman in the cave where she's like getting the exposition dump about Darkseid feels like a deleted scene. Like, it feels like it was definitely something that got cut from the theatrical release. And like I said, I hadn't seen the theatrical release, so I don't know what got cut or added.
Is this after the slow-mo arrow of Artemis goes into the town, burns for a whole day, and then no one cares about it?
Well, they care about it. They rope it off, and there's like news coverage about it. But
okay, but that's the thing. They just roped it off, and no one's guarding it. Like the day after, it's like, oh, strange fire happened, burned the entire day. Weird. Let's not investigate.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's whatever. It's what are you gonna do? But
I wrote a note for that. It's like, no wonder they need the Justice League. Cops are fucking terrible.
Good point. But no, that like, scene, like, it felt like it was a deleted, like it had the feeling of a deleted scene, and it just wasn't necessary because like once she gets the whole exposition dump, she just repeats it to Batman in like the next scene. So you're getting the exposition dump, and then you're just getting it again. So
and it was at this moment I realized this movie was just the Transformers, but with 3 cubes instead of 1. Because it's set up exactly the same way. Like, there's Megatron, who is Darkseid, who comes to Earth and tries to take over with the Allspark, which in this case is the Mother Boxes, but he loses to the Transformers, which in this case is the army of people that fight him. And the cubes are lost on Earth. The only difference is he doesn't get frozen. He just gets taken back to his homeland. So then the other Decepticons come to Earth millennia later in search of the cubes, Steppenwolf and his parademons. And then they have to fight against Sam Witwicky, Batman, and the Transformers that are with him, the Justice League. Like the part where Wonder Woman is explaining the whole history behind it to him is the exact part where Optimus Prime shows up and tells Sam Witwicky everything about the Allspark and why he must be protected.
Yeah.
The first half of this movie is Transformers 1 by Michael Bay.
Michael Bay and Zack Snyder have a very similar vibe. I feel like Zack Snyder writes his characters or directs his characters, whatever, the same way that Michael Bay manages scenery.
Yeah.
Like it's the same energy, you know?
It's just like the explosions will look cool. Get everything spiked so everyone likes it more.
I mean, at least Michael Bay like serves a purpose. Like explodey stuff, like it's not like high cinema, but it's like at least it's like entertaining, you know?
Yeah.
As opposed to Zack Snyder's movies where it's just bleak.
Yeah. At least there's color and some like character development in Michael Bay's movies, even if they are all terrible. You know what? That's the thing we should do. We should watch the first 3 Transformers movies one of these days and do a talk about them. Or at least just the first one.
All right. Yeah, I have the first one on DVD. I don't know if they're on anything. But
also, another thing that kind of bothered me is there's a scene where a guy gets abducted and someone watched. And it's like, so what the attacker look like? And it's clearly a big bug man. But they still wound up drawing Batman.
Yeah, that felt weird. Like, if you just gave the guy the pencil, he could probably like draw a better. Well, isn't that what they did? Isn't that what they did though? Like, it wasn't like a police sketch artist. It was like the drawing that the person did. So that makes it even less understandable because it's like you saw the thing. It was clearly like a bug type thing. So why did you draw it like a flying fucking squirrel?
Yeah. Also, we had obligatory scenes with like angelic music and the light shining on the superhero. Because, you know, to Zack Snyder, anyone that has a superpower is clearly Jesus.
Yeah, that's annoying. All the Christ imagery.
Then we had a scene with Aquaman walking to the sea while the waves are in fucking slow-mo.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. I don't care how badass you think you are. Swimming in jeans and boots has got to be the most uncomfortable and impractical thing I have ever seen.
It is such a dumb scene, too, because it's like generic indie okay, hold on, I forgot. I just remembered a scene I really want to talk about. In the beginning of the movie, Batman goes to team up with Aquaman turns him down, then he goes and he starts swimming in the water. As soon as Aquaman goes into the water, this like choir of like Amish women come out of nowhere and start like singing. Well, what the fuck?
Okay, so I understood that because it's like Aquaman is like he's like the
protector?
I don't want to say Christ figure because...
But he is. That's exactly what it is.
He shows up and he gives them fish. And
put a comic book in a Bible, and now he's hitting us in the head with that amalgamation.
Yeah. No, I understand. Because I feel like that's just the ritual that they do. And Aquaman just never bothered to tell them, like, hey, you don't got to do that.
Like, I thought the implication was that's the village he lives in. Because I think that's the village he lives in Aquaman also. So
I
like
have no idea.
They know he's a half fish person now or something. What the fuck?
I don't know. It hurts my brain to think about it.
It was such a just jarring scene because it's like, why does every superhero have to be Jesus to you?
Speaking of that, though, another nitpick that I had with any scene with the Atlanteans. So, like, do they seriously
when they have to talk?
Yeah, do they seriously need to make like a whole like bubble every time they want to like have a conversation?
Yeah. Okay. I want
That's got to be so inconvenient.
What would be stupider? What would be stupider? Them just talking underwater, or them doing that every time?
See, if you just had them talk to each other underwater, like it's like I feel like the suspension of disbelief is like in effect, you know, like you can just like you can justify why they would be doing that. Like it's not a huge deal. But like the idea that they would like create a bubble around themselves.
I had forgotten that is what they do. So the part where Willem Dafoe shows up and you just hear his voice and you see like a fucking pocket of water like rotate, like, is that Willem Dafoe's character? I thought he was a dude. I was like, man, these rewrites are insane. What the fuck?
You know, I wasn't going to mention this, but Willem Dafoe with long hair is very unsettling.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. You know, I'm upset though. They had Willem Dafoe, but they still went with Jared Leto as the Joker. Like, you've seen the picture of Willem Dafoe doing his like weird smile while he's licking his lips. That looks like the Joker.
Yeah.
Paint him white, give him red lipstick. Fucking Joker.
Have you seen the photoshops? Like I've seen like fan made photoshops of
I think that's
Willem
the
Dafoe as a
Photoshop
Joker.
I'm talking about. Yeah, no, that's the image. Yeah, no, that's the thing though. It's like he looks perfect for it, and he probably has a good voice for it because, like, you know, Willem Dafoe's older and shit, so you could just tie it in as like, oh, this is the Joker from the movie Joker, grown up, kind of older, I guess.
I don't know. I would kind of distance those two universes because, like,
I know. I'm just saying though,
like
if
Joker,
you want a connected universe, you could do that.
Well, the Joker movie, like, it's its own thing. It's clearly going for something different. It's a bit of a departure, but
I bet. It's an actual like dark DC movie.
Yeah, if you also have Willem Dafoe as the Joker, then that puts him closer in age to Ben Affleck's Batman.
Yeah. No, you're right. Because fucking Jared Leto's like a 25-year-old. Jared, I'm not so sorry. I'm more sold on the theory that Jared Leto's Joker is a poser and not the actual Joker.
To be clear, Jared Leto is 49 years old.
Yeah, but he pretends that he's like 25 years old.
Good point.
His Joker is like, I'm young forever. Watch as I get damage tattooed on my forehead.
I cannot believe he's almost 50 years old.
I still don't believe it. Guy's way too fucking weird. Like, I'm weird, but I'm not Jared Leto weird. He's the Jared that we gave all of our weird genes to.
Oh my God. I Googled Jared Leto, and one of the first things that popped up was his Twitter. And on March 19th, I guess there's this like clothing line that either he started or someone did. And it's a shirt that says "We live in a society," and 50% of the profits from it go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. But like, that feels too goofy. Like, not just the shirt, not just that, but like the idea that you have a shirt like designed to you're supporting like, you know, like mental health, like that's your cause. And the design, like the design that you go with is "We live in a society," and it's the guy playing the Joker doing like just the whole thing put together is so fucking goofy. I love it.
Yeah. But
yeah, buy a shirt if you want to have that and you want to support suicide prevention.
If you want to support suicide, buy a society shirt.
No, it's a good cause, and it's a funny shirt because it's got the funny thing on it. But
well, we're still on this topic though. The back to the Snyder Cut thing, the whole flashback thing. I want to talk about this. So you're telling me Darkseid just forgot he left 3 of the most important items to his plan on Earth 1,000 years ago?
Well, he has like a million of them.
Yeah, but I just feel like, you know, maybe you should keep that accounted for.
Well, it's like, okay. It's like if you have a huge fight with your ex and you leave a T-shirt there at their house. Okay. You're not going to go back just for the T-shirt. You have a bunch of them.
A T-shirt isn't a weapon that can be used to destroy a planet. That's like leaving the Death Star keys and letting the rebels look at it once.
No, the point is that the mother boxes, like he has so many of them that just losing a couple of them, like it's not a huge deal.
All right, I see you there. But another thing is, so why didn't the Green Lanterns take one of the mother boxes? Like, I don't know. I just feel like keeping all 3 of the Earth-destroying items on Earth is just a bad movie waiting to wait.
Yeah, I remember when you sent that. That got me thinking, like, yeah, so we have
Like,
and you mentioned this, like the humans, like the man
Yeah.
has one. The Amazons get a mother box to like to store, and the Atlanteans get one, and humans get one, and they just fucking bury it.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck it, man, bury. Like everything else is like Supermax, and then humans are like, yeah, fuck it, dirt's good enough. And then after that, we had a scene with the Flash, and it started my crusade to beat up the Flash, which then turned into bloodlust to murder him. And now I have the designs for a supersonic cannon that will slow down time and also rupture his lungs. I know he's not real, but if he ever is real, I have the weapon to kill him. I'll sell it to whoever wants to be the next Flash villain.
But no, that was a really good point though that you made about how like the Green Lanterns should have taken the box instead of humans.
Yeah, it's like
they fucking bury it, and it's like, okay, so if someone came to get one of those boxes, if they came to get the one from humans, what kind of defense are you gonna put up? It's 5,000 years in the past. What do they have? Sticks? As opposed to a race of people that have magical powers that are based on imagination.
I just love how the flaw in that plan's immediately shown through, because Hitler winds up with the fucking box. You know, Adolf Hitler, world's greatest genocidal maniac.
Well, I guess
kinda
the Nazis like find it, and then the US intercepts it, or the Allies intercept it. But yeah, Hitler did almost have the mother box. He basically almost had the Ark of the Covenant, but it doesn't blow you up. Or it might blow you up. I don't know.
It's like how oh wait, no, actually I know what this is. It's them taking things from not Justice League, Marvel again. Because the Nazis had the special cube in there, so they should have it in this one.
Yeah, basically.
So stupid. Also, there's a scene where the Flash saves a woman, and it's like the weirdest, creepy fucking scene ever. He's like,
yeah, I want to get into that when we get into the character section, because I have some thoughts on that. But last nitpick, I just have one last nitpick before we get into the pacing. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, after watching this movie, I understand Captain Cold 100%, and you know, he should hit me up if he wants to team up sometime.
So anyway, my last nitpick that I had, just the color grading in this movie is so fucking bleak. Like it's gray.
I said this before. It's like at least the first one had color to it. Yeah. Every fucking thing in this movie reminds me of the second Gears of War game. And like, people who have played it know what I'm talking about. But for the uninitiated, Gears of War 2 came out at a time where color was still not a thing people like to put on the Xbox for some reason. So basically, Gears of War 2 is just a bunch of people walking around in the most dingy, dirty looking environment with like grayscale on everything. Like, everything's just gray and it looks terrible.
Yeah, looking at like side by side, looking at Justice League versus the Snyder cut, like it's night and day. Like literally, like one looks like it's at night.
It's just all the color is just so terrible in that movie. I don't know what feeling he's trying to convey. Hopelessness?
I guess.
Because that's all I can feel.
I mean, he literally made Superman's suit black. Like he literally took the color out of that.
No, that's the thing that happens in the comics. I will give him points
I know
for
that does happen in the comics, but still.
His revival suit is supposed to be a black and silver version.
Yeah.
So I will give him points for accuracy. He got one thing right.
Yeah. Now, Marvel movies, they have a reputation for being a little like ugly looking when it comes to color grading. I believe Patrick H. Willems did a video on it. I will link it in the description. But yeah, so basically like, I guess Spider-Man Homecoming is like the exception. I don't know about the other Spider-Man, but like Spider-Man Homecoming specifically, like they actually put like effort into color grading it and making like the red in the suit pop. But like Civil War, you look at that, like the airport fight scene, everything's just gray because they shoot it in RAW, and then you're supposed to like in post bring out the colors in the footage and color grade it however you want. But yeah, like at least Marvel movies don't purposefully tone down, like further tone down the colors.
Yeah. Like, unless it's supposed to be like a darker scene where it's like, this took place at midday. I'll tell you right
Darker,
now, the entire
midday.
movie, it feels like the only time that superheroes are allowed to fight is like 6 p.m. Because like that's the color I keep seeing. Like I'm looking out my window right
like
now.
It's like 6 p.m, like during like the fall
Autumn.
season, and it's overcast. Yeah. And also in post, they took out all the colors.
Like I'm looking out my window right now. It is 6:36 in Michigan. There is an overcast and rain clouds, and it's still too colorful to be considered a Zack Snyder shot.
You know what it feels like? It feels like he just couldn't commit to making the movie actually black and white.
Yeah. Wasn't that a thing he wanted to do?
I think it was considered. I think there's an option to view it in black and white, kind of like Logan.
No, here's the thing though. There's a thing I have on my phone called Student Film Bingo, in which it points out all like the most overused tropes in student films. I got 3 bingos on that watching that movie.
God, I hate student films so much.
You made me watch a 4-hour-long one, Alex.
Yeah, for research purposes. And now we get like 3 hours of content out of it.
Alex, the membrane that encases my nest has died 3 times because of this. You are destroying my nest. So I forgot. Did we make that joke on the podcast before, or was that only in the group chat?
What joke?
I live in like a weird fleshy alien nest.
We might have made it on the show. If not, this is the debut.
Okay, well, yeah, it's falling apart now because of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I guess there's a plus. You've stopped the pending invasion. Congratulations, humanity.
We need to make like a lore Bible for your character on this show.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like it's gonna build up, so there's too much to keep track of.
But before we get into pacing, I want to talk about this one scene. There's a part where he's fighting the Atlantean, Steppenwolf, and he throws one into a rock. The back of his head fucking explodes against the rock. There's like blood all over it. Guy's still alive.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna kill him.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay, they're supposed to be like really strong and durable because they live in the water and stuff. And
okay,
like,
but Alex, his brain is goo now.
Okay, it could just be like blood. Like it could be like a surface wound, but like he's still like alive. Like I don't know. Like
not only is he A, still alive, he's also B, completely conscious, and C, when they extract the memories from him and display it on like the little like hologram screen, it's in perfect HD quality.
Okay, look.
What did he hit with that much blood in it?
Look, Jared, I'm not going to defend it, but I will say it didn't break the immersion for me. It didn't like take me out of it really. And also it's fictional alien technology that plays memories.
Yeah.
And you're complaining about, oh, actually in real life, fictional alien technology doesn't display in full HD. It only displays in 480p if there's enough blood loss.
Nah, but here's the thing though. This is the part that I want to point out though, is it's only there so he can get the R rating because blood is cool to him. Every scene in this movie where there's dismemberment or like blood splatters and stuff like that, every other movie could do the same thing without the overuse of blood and they'd still get the PG-13. The only reason he did this was so he could get his R rating that he was ranting about constantly.
No, you know what? I feel like just the amount of times that they swear, like I feel like that's what really pushed it to an R rating. Because okay, like the way that they rate movies,
say the F word.
The way that they rate movies, like you can have so much violence, and as long as you don't swear, as long as you don't show like a gay couple, you will be fine. You will get a PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
Occasionally you'll get an example of where like a movie is R-rated because of the amount of like gore that it has. But usually what gets a movie an R rating is like, you know, saying fuck one too many times or having 2 people of the same sex kiss on screen. Cause really that's it's never the straight stuff. Like it's never a straight couple that gets a movie an R rating. It's always a gay or lesbian couple. just doing anything. Like that's a whole separate issue. Like the Motion Picture Association, like they're very homophobic.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say though, it's just like, though, like most of the reasons for it isn't because he was forced to have the R rating. Like he wanted it because he likes the attention that an R rating film usually has.
Yeah, that is a good point. It's like a selling feature.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the Justice League definitely doesn't have to be R-rated. Like Deadpool, I understand wanting Deadpool to be R-rated because he's like
he
a
makes
raunchy
sex
character.
jokes in every other word. Yeah. Every other word he says is a sex joke, and on top of that, he's shown his balls to everyone.
And I understand Logan being R-rated because of the violence, and it's fucking Wolverine.
It's also a super serious movie and shit. It's what Justice League said it was going to be.
Literally, his power is being made of knives. So
his power is he has knives that shoot out of his skin that he stabs people to death with.
Yeah, so like that would be R-rated.
Yeah. Like, fuck. He's referred to as a berserker in the comics because he rips people apart.
Yeah, but anyway, I think that's
Pharaoh.
I think that's it for the nitpick section. So do you want to move on to the pacing?
Yeah, I see that you were prepared for this. I was not, Alex.
Okay, look, all right, what you're referencing is my first note. Binge culture has prepared us for the 4-hour cut. So
yeah.
Like, when a season of something comes out, you watch, like, a lot of people will just watch the whole thing in one sitting. I feel like that has like primed us for the idea of a movie coming out and being 4 hours. I mean, obviously, long movies aren't like a new thing. Like Gone with the Wind is like what, 5 hours? Titanic is like 9 hours. So
fucking Gangs of New York is also like 5 hours. But here's the thing: there's intermissions with those movies.
Yeah,
like there's a point where it's like, pause this, take a break, and do whatever. It doesn't matter. This is the intermission period. This movie is just scenes of explosions and sad Lois Lane for 4 hours straight, chopped up with like a 2-second clip of like part 1. Yeah. We don't know what we're doing.
Now, I know we mentioned this earlier, but like the title screens, like it feels like that's like a remnant from when it was going to be a miniseries. Because it was going to, like when they were working out their like ideas for it, like it was going to be split up into like episodes.
I feel like if they did that, it would give them more time to like flesh out the episodes and give you better characters.
Yeah, well, that's it was meant to be a show, but it's not. It's meant to be a movie. I
complain a lot about the characters and stuff in this, but like the thing I want to point out though is like you can make them good characters with like the whole like have them like sad characters and shit, because that's what they did with fucking Doom Patrol. Like, and that works because it's a show that you see the characters grow over time with it. But in a movie, it just feels like, even if it's 4 hours long, it still feels extremely like rushed.
Yeah.
You know? Like, there's parts where it's rushed, and then there's parts that are unnecessary. Like, I can understand showing Lois Lane for like the human parts of it, but there's so many scenes of her just being sad, and one of them only exists to introduce a character who doesn't show up for the rest of the movie until the very end to threaten us with a sequel.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in the character section because I have some thoughts on that. But no, about the whole like splitting it, like it's a 4-hour movie, right? That's a lot to sit through. But if you think about it as like 8 half-hour episodes, like I feel like people wouldn't complain as much. Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like that wouldn't work as well because it's not meant to be 8 episodes. It's meant to be one coherent movie.
Not in its current form, though. I feel like if they went with the whole 8 thing and they actually thought about it and made it into 8 separate episodes, like mini episodes, it could be good. Like, if you were to take The Mandalorian and turn it into an entire movie, that would be a fucking horrible movie because there's just so much shit going on in there.
That just speaks to the fundamental differences between writing a TV show and writing a movie.
Yeah, but like you could have this like Game of Thrones where it's not like every episode is going to be a new thing. You could have like slow burn character building and stuff. Maybe after like the 3rd episode there's a fight and shit. Like just build up the characters and stuff like that. You could actually do the whole mini series thing for this idea well if you just like not do what they did. Like, I don't know how to word this right, but I can see how it would work in my head. Like, I'm trying to word it right, but it's just not there. But it's like little movies, but not the way they thought little movies should be.
Like episodes.
Yeah. I don't. My brain's mush because of this movie, Alex. I'm trying to be
completely
smart, but
understandable.
I can't be smart anymore.
So anyway, you want to get into the characters?
Great. Yes, please. Thank you. So Superman, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I have some notes on Superman, like 4 separate bullet points. First of all, I don't think he should be able to go toe to toe with Flash like he did.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Flash is only wearing silicone and like a rubber spandex suit kind of thing. Superman is like going full out to beat them up. Everyone should be dead. Like, maybe not Wonder Woman, but everyone else should be dead.
Yeah. If you're fighting Superman and he's at full power and he doesn't care whether you live or die, like he's trying to kill you, you will be dead. You should be dead from that. Like, there's no surviving a fight with Superman. Like, unless he's like pulling his punches and, you know, he's like normal, like the whole reason that anyone survives a fight with Superman is that Clark Kent is a good person that doesn't like to kill people.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. It's like that whole fight with Superman too is just the fight scene is just way too long for the payoff you get at the end.
Yeah,
for
it is very drawn out.
It's like it's a huge fight with Superman in the park area. I forget where it's supposed to be.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it's like in this like Metropolis Park, and they're fighting Superman. And the end is Lois Lane runs up and is Martha. That is a reference to his other movie, Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman, where the entire conflict was over in an instant when they said the name Martha.
Yeah.
Lois Lane shows up and Superman instantly remembers everything. And he's like, oh, I'm a bad guy now. I better be a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That didn't bother me too much. I just
thought it was like pretty fucking lazy.
Well, it feels like if you have a character that like loses their memory and you show them someone that they care about, like, okay, that's fine if that like snaps them out of it. Like, it doesn't bother me. But what does bother me is that they just like they did a mini amnesia arc. Yeah. And Superman's like mini amnesia arc, like all other amnesia arcs, adds nothing but runtime to the movie.
What they should have done is like either not done that at all and waited till later for it. Like, here's an idea. I don't know. Like, don't have Superman because like here's another character they introduce, Martian Manhunter, who does nothing for the whole movie. I don't know. Maybe wait to bring Superman back like till the next movie or something. Because
yeah, I feel like Martian Manhunter could fill a similar role in like being like the powerful character that they need to bring in to fight Steppenwolf.
In the comics, he's a shapeshifter, but he does have some pretty good powers on his own. He's super strong and flies and shit.
Yeah.
He's an alien like Superman.
Yeah, and I mean, he does have some weaknesses like fire, but who isn't weak to fire?
Yeah. Yeah, like Superman has weaknesses too. It's like, come on. But like the thing that bothers me the most about it though is it's like they're trying to build up this whole like evil Superman arc thing throughout the whole movie. Then they have him evil for like 5 seconds and it's over. It's like,
well, I don't know if they're building up evil Superman for the whole movie.
Well, kind of, because like the entire time Batman's talking about like the dreams he's having, and the dream is like the same one he had before, where it's the fucking the world's over, Lois is the key, Batman thing.
Yeah, no, I never understood that when I was watching the movie. Like it didn't make sense. Like it added nothing. It felt like it was something from a whole different movie.
It's because it was because the dream happens in Batman v Superman.
I realize that. I realize that it's a callback to Batman v Superman, and that was supposed to be like referencing something that's going to happen in the future. But like, it all ends up just being Batman's dream. So like, what the fuck is it? Like, what is it? I get that it's supposed to be like an alternate future thing, but what is it?
keeps getting like premonitions of the future and stuff. And it's like, Batman doesn't have that power. Why are you doing this? This is so fucking weird. It's like,
yeah.
But yeah, so one of my favorite DC characters of all time when I was a kid was Martian Manhunter, and I got to see him in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I hated it because this is all he does in a movie about superhero teams. He exists just to be like, just to pretend to be Superman's mom for some reason, and I'm
that was
very
weird.
concerned about that. Is he constantly pretending to be her, or like?
Okay,
what's up with that?
If you want an explanation for that, you should look at the link that I have in the show notes.
Okay, I'll look at that in a second.
Under the Martian Manhunter bullet point.
Because like otherwise, it would imply that Martha and fucking Lois just weren't ever meeting. It's just it was just Martian Manhunter the whole time, or
Martian Manhunter is Superman's mom.
Because he likes to hug. He disguises himself as Martha Kent just to hug Lois. He does it again at the farm to hug Lois and Superman.
This is
okay, that makes sense.
This is on my favorite subreddit, r/shitty fan theories. This one,
Alex,
Martian Manhunter is a hugger.
That has some value, Alex. There is a comic I had about the Justice League dealing with their PTSD. And one of the story arcs is that Martian Manhunter lost his entire family and race in the fires that took Mars. And so he like disguises himself as a human and like hangs out with other humans so he can feel love again.
Aww.
And he disguises himself so he can hug people. So
it's really sad.
Okay. Yeah.
So
no,
anyway,
this movie is just
link
weird.
In description. Check out that post. Check out the rest of the subreddit. It's great.
Now back to Justice League. So he just shows up, and he shows up at the very end of the movie, and then threatens the viewers with the audacity of there being a sequel. He's like, "There's something bigger on the horizon." It's like, no, this was 4 hours long. I don't think I can handle any more.
Yeah, like the whole time Batman's like, I think there's something coming. And then at the end, I think there's something bigger coming.
It's like, I'm going to stab whoever wrote this movie.
Yeah. Now I have, all that I have to say about Martian Manhunter is like, there's no way he was in the original cut, right? Like it feels like very hodgepodged and like, it feels like a last minute addition. But I
don't remember him ever being in the cut, but that could just be my brain removing it, because, oh my God, was that horrible?
Yeah, I think Martian Manhunter, along with the Green Lanterns, was just added in.
Yeah.
For no reason other than just, like we said before, world building for stuff that's not going to happen.
Darkseid, I believe, was also added in.
Yeah.
For most of it. You got the Superman's death thing down. It needed more movies and time for it to sink in before they brought him back.
Yeah, that's another point that I wanted to make. Superman, like he like it's a fundamental problem with this entire series, where like you need more movies to like flesh out like we need origins for, or at least like introductions for all these characters before you bring them into this Infinity War style movie. Like we need to know who Aquaman is going into it. We don't need to like learn about him after the fact. We need to learn about him going in. We need to know who the Flash is. We need to know we need an introduction for Batman. Like if you don't have an already like pre-existing idea of who all these characters are, like if you're just a normie going into this, you're going to be very confused.
Yeah. Cause like, that's the thing. Like Batman was introduced in Batman v Superman, and it's like, it's not the Batman that you have the origin stories for, because he's more like Thomas Wayne because he kills people.
Yeah.
Like it's just a weird Batman. I hate it. I hate weird Batman.
Yeah, but that problem also is present with Justice League, where we need time for Superman's death to set in. Because like you kill him, and then in the next movie you immediately bring him back.
Yeah. It's just so dumb.
Yeah, it feels like very like you're trying to force this like feeling. Like you're trying to force like this mourning to process, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel
Superman
organic.
also like you said it too, but like Superman also is like the only point he's there is because he's stronger than everyone.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, that's another
like
thing.
that's a thing that they had in the books and stuff, where it's like, oh, why do we need anyone else when Superman's here? And they usually fixed it by either having him die or leave. And then like the TV show, the cartoon Justice League Unlimited, just made him an idiot. So that's why he's there.
Yeah. Yeah, like
that's why the other team's there. They're the smarter guys that do shit that he can't do.
Yeah, that's a thing that I had written down. Like Superman's power level makes the rest of the Justice League obsolete. So I feel like the way that you solve that would be like
let him die.
Yeah, it's like you said, like to justify the entire rest of the Justice League existing, you have Superman die. So like I just thought of this, like if you really wanted to have Superman in the movie, but also not, like, I don't know, save his death for like Act 1 of Justice League, right? So like he like at first is like just taking care of all the problems for them, and they sort of like rely on him, right? Kind of like they do in the third act of this movie to like kick Steppenwolf's ass. And then like we do see this in the movie where like the entire reason that Steppenwolf shows up is because Superman is dead. But just work that in, so like Superman at first is taking care of all their problems, but then he's dead. So then the movie is them trying to figure out how to like, you know, function without him. I feel like that would work a lot better than what we got in this movie. Yeah.
It's just a fucking...
Yeah, with that out of the way, I will let you complain about Flash.
Okay, yeah, so they try to make him like this endearing, like nerdy guy, but it's like it's the stereotypical nerd where it's the one that just makes you really want to hurt him. Like, I'm a nerd, and even I want to pick on this little shit.
Yeah.
It's like watching this movie, every time he shows up and says a word, I had like this adrenaline meter. Like, you know how like those hack and slash games, they have like the rage meter that you build up and then, you know, unleash it to get like double attacks or whatever.
Yeah.
I had the same thing, but it was like my origin story against how I'm going to kill the Flash. So as the movie progressed, it just got worse and worse to the point where I started researching into resonance theory and shit, discovered how to kill the Flash by making a supersonic bass cannon that will be able to slow him down long enough to where you can switch it over to a new resonance sound that when played, it will rupture his lungs and kill him instantly. I also had devised a suit to make sure that you are safe. It's very easy. It's basically a deep sea diver outfit to withstand the pressure that is also soundproof. It's also very comfy and air conditioned.
And if you would like the blueprints, he will sell them as an NFT. They will be drawn in crayon.
Actually, I do have drawings of it. I have to find it again.
Please,
I threw it.
I know that they're not going to be. Please tell me they're drawn with crayon.
No, it's pencil drawings.
I can only imagine something like that being like scribbled with crayon and like with stick figures and stuff.
You don't understand, Alex. This movie made me hate Flash to the point where I have devised like an actual supervillain outfit.
Yeah. Now
this movie is my supervillain origin story. I am now the great Brapper.
Now I didn't hate Flash. Like
I did.
I didn't hate Flash for the whole movie. I did at first. Like his introduction, like it felt very annoying.
I will say at times I did think Flash was an all right character. And then he'd have a quip and then it would just fill the meter back up again.
You know, I don't mind quips. I don't like it when it feels like you're trying to do something, you know, like it feels like you're trying to make it like a Marvel movie. And my understanding is that they toned it down a lot from from Justice League. Like this movie, it feels like that's just his character, you know, like it doesn't feel like bad writing. I didn't mind it that much, but his introduction, like at first, because it's just all at once, it's like it's like an overdose on quippiness. But like in like the slow-mo sequence,
I'm going to kill the snack hole
in the slow-mo sequence when he's like you know, saving the girl because he thinks she's cute.
He's being weird and shit.
Now, like when he's like
grabs a hot dog.
Yeah, when he's like in slow-mo, he's like going super fast and everything. And he like grabs a hot dog. Like my reaction was like, not the time, man.
Yeah, when he was like touching the girl, I was really worried where it was going.
Yeah, I was very concerned.
I was like, what the fuck is the Flash going to do, man?
But also, no, the real word, but by the way, it does kind of pay off because he's like, oh, you know, I always keep a hot dog on me for the dogs. And it's like, okay, it's I don't hate it. It's fine. It's whatever.
I can promise you he's not getting that job, though. However, another thing this movie did that is different from the comics, and also a weird coincidence, why do all of the heroes in this movie have the worst relationship with their parents?
Yeah. But no, before
Like,
we get into that
is
more,
that just
I just want
required?
to bring up the true worst villain, worst person in this movie. The guy that's driving a 10-ton semi truck and he drops his fucking egg McMuffin and he spends a solid 30 to 45 seconds trying to fish it out of his dirty ass like footwell in the truck, and he's just speeding down the road, not looking. He's spending like an extended period of time not looking up.
I have 2 notes made for that. The first one, that guy who dropped his burger is fighting for a lost cause.
Yeah.
When that burger fell on the
sure.
floor, that floor is so disgusting. Like, I love burgers. I would probably eat a burger if it fell on my floor. But if it fell on the floor of a truck that disgusting, I'd just buy a new one, man.
For real.
Because, like, oh my God.
Like, okay, Steppenwolf is the bad guy, but the guy driving that truck
This guy
is a bad
the villain.
guy.
My next note is that man just killed like 5 people all because he wanted his burger.
Yeah.
Period. That man just murdered a family.
But anyway, superheroes, bad relationship with their parents.
Yeah, is that just a requirement for the job now? Because, like, everyone has the worst. And I want to get into this.
Well,
Like,
Flash doesn't have a bad relationship with his parents. Like, his mom is
'cause his
probably
dad
dead and his
thinks
dad
he's-
is in prison, but they don't have a
Yeah.
bad relationship.
it's rocky. Because, like, he's all like, you're wasting your life, man. You gotta stop following this. He's like, but I want to do this, Dad. I want to save you. It's like, no, you're a waste. Stop. And then they go away.
Well,
It's like,
that's not
it's still a rough relationship.
No, I don't think so, because like Flash is trying to like help his dad, and his dad is like, I just want the best for you. I don't want you to worry about me. Like that's where it's coming from. It's not like, oh, give up on your dreams.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it is, but it's like the relationship they have though, it's clearly that like one of them doesn't want them to do this and just wants them to like, well, I mean, basically it's time to give up on his dreams though, because he's like, hey, don't do this. You have a whole life you could be living.
Well, don't waste it on me.
Well, hold on.
And that's the life he wants to
clearly
live.
different from like oh, I'm trying to like put in a lot of hours and a lot of work to get my dad out of prison, but he wants me to like do what I want to do for me, as opposed to like trying to help him, but I really want to help him. That's different from like, I just want to be in theater, but my dad wants me to do basketball. He's so awful and he doesn't care about me. Like, those are 2 completely different situations.
Not saying that.
But yeah, the rest of them definitely, like, either the parents are dead or like they're not on good terms. Well, except for Superman. Well, Superman
has
his mom's cool, but his dad was kind of the worst.
His dad told him to let kids die.
Yeah. Well, what was I supposed to do?
And then-
Let them die? Maybe.
Yes. Maybe. But let's talk about the real worst one. Cyborg. I went on a rant about this because I hate movies like this. Like, the whole point of Cyborg is that, like, in the comics, he resents his father because his father rebuilt him and he didn't want to be rebuilt and shit like that. And I thought that's what they were going for with it. But it seems like he just really just blames his dad for his mom's death, when his dad's whole thing was that he couldn't come to a football game because he had to work for the government.
Yeah.
And I hate movies like that. It's like, there's always that one movie. It's like, Dad hates me because he has to go to work. It's like, no, your dad doesn't hate you. The reason why he wasn't at karate practice was because someone's got to pay for that fucking bullshit. It's like, I had a job.
What the fuck were you supposed to do when you have things like that? You can't just like, oh, hey, sorry, my son's got a football game. I gotta go. When you're the lead scientist on a fucking super like top secret project, you can't just up and quit, because then like, how are you gonna pay for the fucking football shit now? Huh?
Well, I don't think he wants him to like quit his job, but I do understand. I understand that like
the sentiment of like, I wish my dad was more involved in my life thing. I can understand like why that's the thing for these movies. It's just, I hate how it's always like, my dad hates me, so I hate him back now because of it. When clearly his dad doesn't hate him. He gave the kid the power to be Cyber Jesus.
Well, I feel like you're thinking of it too like simplistically. Because he has this resentment towards his dad, not because he thinks his dad hates him. He has this resentment towards his dad because he doesn't seem to care about him either way. Like he doesn't put in the time to like be a father to him. Like he's too consumed with his work, which like I don't want him. Like I'm not saying like, oh, my dad got to quit his job if he wants to be a good dad. Like it's okay, but like you got to like balance it. You got to be there at least sometimes for your kid. And it's not just the one game that he didn't go to and it's like, oh, I blame you for my mom's death. It's like a culmination of things. It's like the build up. Like he wasn't there for this game or the previous game or any game, and he's not there for any of my stuff. So I have this resentment towards him. Like it's not,
and that's rough and all. I get that, but at the same time though, it's like you can't just put everything else on hold for that kind of stuff.
And then by the way, he did also turn him into a cyborg.
Well, yeah, because he didn't want his son to die. Like he lost his wife. He's like, oh, my son's dying. I should probably save him.
Well, he probably went through a lot of pain also becoming the cyborg. And like he's now like cut off from the rest of humanity because he's just fundamentally different now. It's like Cyborg's whole thing. He cuts himself off from everyone because he thinks he's a freak now.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what kind of life is that?
An understandable thing. I just feel like though, like the relationship he has with his dad, like a lot of the scenes, like, yeah, his dad does work a lot and stuff, but it does feel like he actually cares about his son.
Well,
like honestly,
look, we see that he cares about his son, but it's not like Cyborg doesn't see it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I just hate tropes like that though.
Yeah,
because it's like,
I mean, it definitely wasn't executed that well in this movie.
Like in any movie, really, I'd argue to say it's not executed as well as they were trying to go for it, because it's always like the same thing where it's like, my dad hates me, and then he like leaves a tape recording behind, or he dies, and it's like, oh, my dad really loved me the whole time. Who knew? And everyone's just like, we've been telling you the whole time, you jackass.
Yeah, like with the recorder thing, like it felt annoying when he like smashed it. When he's like, speaking to you as your father. It's like, he's clearly trying to tell you that he loves you or something like that. Like, I don't want to hear it because it's only the second act and I need to hear it in the third act so I can be whole.
Yeah.
And
like that kind of shit,
that feels
because it's
forced.
always that kind of thing. And that's the thing. It's always like that. Like they never give their parents a second chance until they die. Yeah.
Also, another nitpick. Does he just have the power to reverse breaking shit? Like, I get that he has like powers. Like he can like hack into like the internet and stuff, but he just physically unbreaks a tape recorder.
That was a weird thing. I think the implication is because he's part of that weird cube thing.
Well, yeah,
but it's still a stupid thing.
Yeah, I get he has like mother box powers, but like it's like Marvel has
every other
the
version.
Same issue, and it's not as bad. Where it's like the Infinity Stones, like if you just touch one, you get superpowers, and it's like, I guess it doesn't really. Like it's cosmic space magic and stuff. It's not a huge deal. But with this, it just feels confusing. Because it's like you touch a mother box, it turns you into a cyborg, and now you have the powers of that mother box.
I say they're both pretty stupid. At least with the Infinity Stones, where it's like they were part of the things, like it made sense because the power comes from the stone.
Yeah.
But when it's like, oh, if you touch it, you become God. It's like, okay. All right.
Yeah, but no. While we're on the subject of the Stone family, So yeah, Dr. Stone. Cyborg's dad.
He turned his son into a...
Yeah, he turns his son not only into a bioweapon, but also a potential tool for cyber terrorism.
He has access to every single camera in the world and all of the world's nukes. And that's the first thing he tells his son about when he's like, hey, by the way, here's all the features I gave you.
Yeah, it's like he's like giving a... You know what it feels like? It feels like when they present like the new iPhone.
Yeah.
And it's like, not only can it show you where you are on the map with GPS, but it also, you can send text messages with it.
Syria.
Oh, and also you can manipulate the world's currency.
Yeah.
Like it's explicitly said, like when he's like telling him about it, he's like, yeah, you can manipulate the world's currency and launch the nukes on a whim. And then
it's like this... I want to say this though, because like he's doing the talk and they have like this weird CGI place. Like I understand what they're trying to go for. It's like his mind palace thing, but the fight, like they shove this scene where it's like you can manipulate the world's currency. And how do you think they would show that, viewers? Like a bar graph or like money falling from the sky? No. A big fucking bull is gonna fight a fucking bear, and they're both covered in gold for some reason. Watch.
Yeah, that's weird.
I guess that's what the visual representation of currency is. I don't get it. I think the bull's supposed to be Wall Street, but what the fuck is the bear? The USSR?
Mess with the bull, you get the world's banks.
Paycheck.
Mess with the bull, you get the IRS on your ass.
Now, I do want to talk about another thing that happens, though, because it really bothers me. Cyborg hacked an ATM to give a woman money, which is cool, but now the bank's gonna see a potential hack, look into it, discover the discrepancy in the account, then sue the woman in damages that she would be because she would be the prime and only suspect. He made her day, but ruined her life.
Yeah, that's a really good point too. And it's like, well, we don't even see where that money comes from.
It's like, oh, congratulations, you've won this thing. It's like, oh, that's weird.
Because it's like,
someone hacked the ATM.
Is this just money that he spontaneously creates? Which I mean, you can, or does it come from somewhere? Does it come from?
Well, it came from the ATM. Those things are full of a certain amount of money. But like,
well, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Was like hacking.
That's not what I'm.
Oh, the hacking part.
Well, because it's not like he's like getting, it's not like he's bestowing the cash from inside the ATM on her. He's putting money into her account. So where is that coming from? Is that like just new money that he just created, or does he like take it from like Jeff Bezos's bank account?
The thing is, it was like a millionth customer thing. So I think it was a thing that bank does, and he found it in its files and just gave it to her. But the point is, though, they're going to see that someone hacked into their files and gave someone $1,000.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's possible that
it's a nice
he did it in a way that
notion, but
found. But yeah, it is
like I like the idea of that scene.
How it could be.
I like the notion of that scene. I understand what they're going for with it, but like knowing how like technology works now and how like tracking is and shit like that, like. I don't know. I just feel like I might be looking into that scene too much, but I know what would happen if I hacked an ATM.
I think we looked into this entire movie too much.
I think it was 4 hours too much.
But anyway, let's move on to the last couple things. Jesse Eisenberg, terrible casting choice for Lex Luthor. He's not a bad actor. He's just not a good Lex Luthor.
Even worse casting choice, Jared Leto as the Joker. Jared Leto's Joker is like all those incels on Twitter that say they're the Joker.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Also, before we go into anything else, I just want to point this out. There's a scene where Batman throws a batarang at the Flash to prove he has powers, and I just thought it would be really funny. Like, what if it was wrong and Batman just fucking murders some kid?
Oh yeah, I think I saw a channel that like animated that.
He's just like, "Are you the Flash?" No, that's not me. Throws the batarang. Oh, it's like, oh shit, he wasn't lying. This kid just broke in. Welp. Another criminal off the streets, I guess.
Yeah. Let's just
also
what
before we go, I want to talk about this. The best character in this movie, the closest to their actual Like the best characters I'd say for casting and shit. Alfred was good. However, he was Alfred and Lucius Fox put together, so it was weird.
Yeah, well,
he's like
I don't mind that. Like I respect
yeah, it's
for this movie.
It's cool,
they would have to introduce Lucius Fox, and it's like
I just think it'd be cool to have both of them like being like making the stuff. Like Alfred makes the suit upgrades while Lucius makes the vehicles.
Yeah, well, I just feel like that's too much for this already incredibly like dense movie.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
So
I'm just saying
I respect.
it's just weird.
I respect taking two different characters and just consolidating their roles if they're similar enough. Like I respect that. I complain. Well, it's like I complained about in Spider-Man 3, how Eddie Brock and Harry Osborn can fill the same role. So I respect that. You know, they did that with this movie with Alfred and Lucius.
I will say the best casting this movie has, J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah,
because J.K. Simmons
better than I expected.
Perfectly. I don't know why, but every time J.K. Simmons gets a role, he always hits it. Fucking, he's great as Jonah Jameson. He's great as the band teacher from Whiplash. He's great as fucking everything.
Yeah,
you give
Santa
him.
Claus and Klaus, great movie. Watch it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. No, but fucking his Commissioner Gordon is exactly how I imagine Gordon in the comics, just being so tired and done up with everything. It's just like,
yeah,
God
like,
damn it, what
Gordon
is this,
in
Batman? Yeah, he's the perfect Gordon. He's just so like just done with it.
J.K. Simmons has a specific talent where every time he takes a role, he becomes the definitive version of that role.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
So anyway, do you want to get into the ending?
Yeah, but I do want to say this one last little nitpick thing is the soundtrack for this was just a dark remix of the Spy Kids theme.
You know what? I can't argue with you on that.
All right, but now let's talk about the ending. So at the very end of the movie, they brutally murder Steppenwolf while Darkseid watches with his thumb up his ass. And then they save the world. And it's like an epilogue where everyone's like going home and doing their things and stuff. I kind of stopped paying attention for a bit here. Up until the nightmare sequence that everyone was talking about. Now, this nightmare sequence is a sequence where everyone's like, this is where the real shit happens. Actually, I forgot. There's one more thing. They introduce one last character. At the very end, Lex Luthor brings Deathstroke, who's a mercenary from the comics, onto his boat. It's like, I know Batman's name, his real name. You can go get him. Team up with me. And the very first thing I said when Deathstroke showed up on screen was, oh my God, who the fuck cares? Like, I love Deathstroke. He's one of my favorite Batman villains. But this movie made me not give a shit about the very first time he's been shown in a movie.
Yeah. And it also felt like another example of world building for stuff that's just not going to happen.
Like, I understand the notion Zack Snyder's trying to have where it's like everyone knows the backstory, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like maybe a little bit of extra substance would be good for your spectacle.
It feels extremely shoehorned in. It feels like you're trying to put the beginning scene of the next movie at the end of this one.
He did 7 of those.
Yeah.
The movie just never fucking ended. Because then it gets to the nightmare sequence where Batman's having a bad dream, which might be a premonition of future or something.
And also,
dumb.
Deathstroke is in that sequence. So, like, Batman knows like, who Deathstroke is. Up.
Yeah, it's because they have met before. Like, the implications of that scene is that Deathstroke was beaten by Batman. Because he says, it's like, I'm doing pro bono because I want the Batman to pay for what he did to me and shit like that. That's
fair.
So it's like, I guess they team up at some point and they become friends, which isn't too far-fetched because they have teamed up before because he's a mercenary. Like, Deathstroke works for whoever pays him. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, like mercenaries
he fights Batman a lot. Yeah, like, he fights Batman a lot because he's, like, the guy that thwarts him the most. And he has, like a rivalry with him. But on paper, they're, like, the same guy, basically. Except one of them gets paid to do the stuff he does.
Yeah.
So, so they team up and shit. And, like, it's like a nightmare sequence. Like, Aquaman's apparently dead because Hera's there. Cyborg's there. Batman's there with his weird trench coat bat cowl getup, which still looks goofy to me. Like, I know it's supposed to be inspired by Gotham by Gaslight, which is one of my favorite like comics, but I still do not like the suit design from that and in this. I don't understand it. Like, Spider-Man Noir makes sense because it's like a balaclava he puts on. And this, it's just he's wearing a trench coat with the bat cowl.
Yeah, he's like wearing it
At the
over
end
the
of-
regular bat suit.
Yeah, like I don't. Is he trying to be inconspicuous? Because I feel like the ears, like that just.
Well, like,
you
I
know,
understand the goggles because it's like, you're trying to shield
it's a
yourself
dusty
from the
wasteland.
dust. But like the trench coat feels a little too much. Like it's too like themey.
Yeah, it's definitely we want Batman to look like a cool wastelander thing, but the cowl ruins it to me, man. He should have had like just his face, I guess, because who would care in the wasteland, man?
Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone knows it's Bruce Wayne. And then
but
we had a scene that everyone was excited for from the commercials, which is Jared Leto reprises his role as the Joker. And oh my God, everything else in this movie made me want to eat a bag of glass chips. This one made me want to down that with a glass of bleach.
yeah, he looks worse with long hair.
He looks worse, he sounds worse, and I've also devised a weapon to kill him as well.
A gun?
Yeah, it's just a gun. This one was not that hard to figure out. It's just a guy. Just shoot him.
Yeah.
Or we could just use the sound cannon again. Please. I have this thing now and I don't know what to do with
But
it.
yeah, so like it's like I said before though, that whole sequence, like, is it supposed to be like an Injustice style timeline where Superman's evil? Is it supposed to be like I guess it was all a dream, but like it's clearly supposed to be something. And it feels just completely out of nowhere. It feels like it's out of left field. It feels like a different movie. It feels like it's not supposed to be here.
Alex, we forgot Flash's Iron Man in this scene too.
Oh yeah, because he has the thing.
He's got Iron Man's suit for some reason. God. Anyways, Joker says some pretty cringy fucking shit about how everything sucks and Batman sucks and the world
We
sucks.
live in a
and then
society.
Batman's like, yeah, and then Batman grabs him by the throat and is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then he wakes up screaming.
Yeah, and then we get the scene where Martian Manhunter shows up and he's like, "There's bigger stuff coming."
Martian Manhunter, the guy that shows up halfway through this movie, that has the audacity to come back and threaten me with another one.
It's but like when I was watching the movie though, like the whole time I was thinking, how many times is this movie gonna end?
A lot.
Because like it ends the
A
first
lot.
time, then it ends, and then we get the nightmare sequence, and then we get Martian Manhunter, and we get Lex Luthor breaking out of Arkham,
Yeah.
and we get like Deathstroke, and it's like, when will it be enough?
I remember I screamed at the top of my lungs, oh my God, when is this going to end? This movie was agony.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on Zack Snyder's Justice League. I wrote it on Facebook, and I'm going to say it here. The Snyder Cut was a 4-hour-long insult. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, I think I'm all burnt out with like all the Zack Snyder stuff. This has been a
I
long
don't want
one.
to see another movie.
I think this
Ugh.
takes the throne now for the longest episode.
3 hours and 10 minutes.
How long was the Spider-Man one?
I think it was only like 2 hours long.
Oh, that one's 3 hours, 1 minute.
Yeah, let's get the ending in place. then.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Bold of You to Say. If this was your first time here, first of all, congratulations for making it all the way through. If you like this episode,
I bled for you people.
be sure to like and subscribe and all that stuff. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Leave us a review on Podchaser. That's like an IMDb site for podcasts. That's a great way to help out the show. We have merch now. Get yourself a Muscle Rock t-shirt or a button or wall art. It comes in many forms on TeePublic. That'll be linked down below in the description. Follow us on social media. Follow us on Twitter. Follow me on TikTok. Friend Jared on Steam or Xbox.
I just need someone to play with. Come on, let's go.
Share this episode, share it with a friend, tweet out our clips, get more eyes and ears on the show so we can grow the audience. I actually just finished the clip from a couple weeks ago where we did like the Spider-Man rewrite. I made that into a clip. Share that, get it, blow it up, get it to the moon, like they say.
Get it to the moon, so when we jizz on it, that's also getting jizzed on.
And subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Turn on notifications, turn on automatic downloads, all that stuff. And
watch this between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m.
Oh yeah, those are our official hours.
And I just want you all to know, I love you all, but you made me bleed for this, and for that I will never forgive you. Good night!
Good night, everyone.
Or good morning, good evening, good fuck.
9 a.m. through 9 p.m.
I'll see you all in your dreams.